We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
Oh, wow. Right on the tip. Just on the tip.
And Blabs. Co-hosted by our friends from around the internet.
There is a portion of Norway where it is legally required to carry a firearm at all times.
If you're just a normal man looking for common sense in this crazy-ass world, you've come to the right place. And now, broadcasting from our homes from around the internet, it's time for Side Scrollers. Oh, welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and SidescrollersPodcast.com. What's going on, everybody? It is Monday. It is stand-up day. The desk is all the way up, and we are standing because my back hurts. What's going on, everybody? Good to see you. Man, we got a great show for you guys today. And, of course, I'm going to look down at my computer screen every single time, looking down here the entire time to say, hello, Blabs. Good to see you.
See, he always looks down on me, chat, but this time, for real, he's doing it in front of you guys for all of you to see. Hi.
Good. Hello. Good to see you.
This was not planned, by the way.
Oh, we are twinsies.
No, this wasn't planned. I just realized it, like, as soon as you pulled up. I was like, oh, okay, so yeah.
We're going with the Reds today. That's good. Pops on the screen.
We're Sith Lords.
Yeah. Maybe, okay. Well, maybe we'll be twinsies on Wednesday. We'll get to that in a little bit.
No talk.
No, you don't. Oh, you want to keep it a secret?
Well, yes, that is the plan.
No, you don't keep that a secret.
We all agreed.
What?
Yes, I showed you the messages. It is surprise.
You want to promote those things, Blabs?
No. We're just gonna doing it cold, dry, everything. You just show up and there it is.
All right, look, show up on Wednesday. We're
Exactly.
promoting something.
Yes.
That Blabs doesn't want to tell you.
Exactly.
And Arch is there too.
Yes.
And if you watched the last time Arch was on 2 weeks ago, you'd probably have a pretty good idea what we're talking about. But show up on Wednesday, of course.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. Look, today is Monday, which means we're going to have our boy Yellow Flash on the show. But he's out there getting his coffee, his orange mocha frappuccino, which I'm sure he's sipping with a straw and his pinky out. I'll tell you what. This guy, I don't know if he's ever had it. And you know what? No. I bet he has. I bet this man loves umbrella drinks. Also joining us today on this wonderful Monday. Been a little bit since he's been on, but I'm glad to welcome back Camelot 331 to the show. Cam, good to see you, buddy.
What's up, boys? How you doing?
Well, she's a girl, and how dare you?
Don't assume my gender, Craig. Let him call me a boy.
Oh, okay. All right. There you
Yeah,
go.
you're not very progressive these days.
Caesar.
Yeah, Craig's just too far. He's too far behind the times.
Yeah,
That's why he's got to stand
dinosaur.
up.
That's right.
Got to stand up. He's got to think about his health. He's at that age, that ripe old age.
Well, you know, I got the stand-up desk, and let me tell you something about this. It's really easy. You just press a button, it goes up and down. The problem is that when you do a podcast, you also, in addition, all the ease of bringing the desk up is ruined because you have to go adjust lights and camera and lights, and it sucks. So all the ease is just thrown out the damn window, and here we are complaining about first world problems. It's ridiculous.
That's why you Ron Popeil it. You Ron Popeil everything. You set it and you forget it. I just walk in my room and I hit my app on my phone and all my stuff turns on at the exact same time and it's all pointed at the exact same area and I just sit down.
Blabs has no idea who Ron Popeil is.
No.
Yeah, it's because she's not old as hell like us and she didn't stay up at 3 a.m. from crushing anxiety from our teenage years. So you didn't hear about the
No, I was asleep at 3 a.m. when I was a teenager. I had too much shit going on. I was passed out dead.
Oh man, I miss Ron Popeil.
Ron Popeil was the creator.
Yo.
Flash, I was about to give you a sweet intro, but I'm glad you're here. How's your coffee?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah? Oh, you're just sucking it up. Oh, yeah. How's
Join that whipped cream on it.
Oh, hey, Blabs, can you find the footage of him from last week? Remember I'll find it.
Yeah, I was gonna say what footage?
You have no idea what we're doing. Either way. Glad you guys are with us. Flash, you know who Ron Popeil is? Mr. Popeil?
No. Who?
No? He was the guy who, Mr. Popeil, Ron Popeil. He was the guy in the 80s who would sell you the Chapo-matic and the Ginsu-matic and the whatever. He was like the late. He was.
Oh, like an infomercials guy.
Yeah, he was the ShamWow guy before the ShamWow guy.
Yeah, you
Right?
said it, you forget it.
That's right. Set it, forget it, and move on to your life. That's what Cody does. Yeah. Well, look, we got a. It's going to be a good ass show today. I can just feel the energy.
A good ass show.
Yeah.
Dog.
We're standing up. Blabs and I both got red. Look, we got a nice thing. Here's the thing. Check this out. Blabs and I have red on, right? Cam and I have sunglasses on, and Cam and Flash have wicked abs.
There you go.
You know, I'm just saying.
Right. This is what my abs really look like.
It's an actual picture of Flash.
Yeah, real picture.
All right. Well, look, I'd like to remind you guys, we are live over at rumble.com/sidescrollers. We continue to grow over there every single day, closing in on 10,000 followers, which is great. I know a lot of you freedom lovers love Rumble, as do we. You also could have found out that Cam and Flash could have been on the show, or we're going to be on the show, simply by following us over at Sidescroller Pod. You can also get clips of the show and out of context, all sorts of stuff. We also have that Instagram account, don't we, Blabs?
We do. We're glowing. We're glowing and growing over there all the time. So follow us over there for memes and clips of the show. Otherwise, Cody's going to eat all of your sandwiches.
I see. I'm on a diet, Blabs, right now. You can't do that.
No.
I could.
So he's just going to chuck them out the window instead.
Yeah, I might eat one. I don't know.
He's trying to turn his body into carbon fiber.
Okay.
Yes. Must get more down in weight, man. I was trying to get to the 170s, and when I hit 183 ish, it's like a brick wall every time, and I have to hit high intense cardio every day.
Hold on.
Is the NASCAR body carbon fiber?
It is composite. Yeah, I think it's basically it's basically carbon fiber, but it's called composite bodies, and they're real sturdy. And the weirdest thing ever is if you watched it back in the day, like 2005, when a car would like slap the wall, the car was a pancake. It was just the side of the car was a pancake. Now with our cars, you can slap the wall, come off of it, and your car looks completely normal. Now everything's broken, but your car looks fine. It's just got some scrapes. Pretty cool.
Man, that's you're talking about something that I don't even know what the hell you guys are talking about, which is great. But I'll tell you what,
I know a little bit about that stuff because of motorcycles. You can get carbon fiber pieces, and it weighs less. And actually, I think carbon fiber looks cooler.
It does, yeah. If it's unpainted, it looks like armor. It's cool.
Like your abs, your armor abs, your carbon fiber abs down there, which is wonderful. I'm curious, Cam, how tall are you, man?
5'10", 5'11".
Okay. So like 175 is not like super unreasonable for
175 is for me, for my muscle mass over, been training for 11 years now, 12 years. 175 for me is like shredded. Shredded Craig. And it's so hard to get to the shred.
I've met Camelot. There's no body fat on him.
No, just big old beefy boy, huh?
Yeah.
Big old beefy muscle mass.
Yeah, and Flash is like, drink this shot. And I'm like, I'll die, Flash. I don't have any fat on me, man. I said, dude, I have to be careful. I'll take 2 shots, and I'm like, no. And I'm just gone. It's over.
That's not the way it used to be, though. Tell you what, I thought you could go for a while, couldn't you?
Oh, I could. Yeah. In about October every year I'm just going ham, and I drink every day, and I fly some friends in, and we drink for like 9 days straight.
Sounds like a great life.
It is. It's great.
Awesome.
I can't do that anymore. I feel dead the next day after like a hard night at party, and I'm like dead. Now it feels like 2 days.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah, it does. That's exactly how it is. Every time I come off my diet in like January, I'll be like, finally I can drink. And then I'll drink, black out, and then it'll be a 2 or 3 days where I'm like, why did I do that again?
You feel like you're ready to go to Jesus.
Yeah, I'm done forever.
Well, if you guys, instead of going to Jesus, if you want to go to Spotify and watch this show, you guys can do that as well. You like that transition? That was pretty good.
Good.
Head over to Spotify or
Kind of
Apple
blasphemous,
Podcast.
but
yeah, that's okay. It was. Someone's gonna get mad at me for something, which is totally fine. We also have sidescrollerspodcast.com, which we fully encourage you guys to head over there and support us. We got big things coming in 2025. And of course, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Join the 111,000 just normal men who have found common sense in the video game and entertainment world. And here we are, friends.
Are you stretching while you're doing that entire intro? You were like, wee.
This is kind of how I stand. I move. I'm a mover when
Are you a worm? You're like those wacky inflatable things at the car dealership.
How about I just stand here like this and I put my hands firmly on the desk and I just stare intensely into the camera the entire time.
Now you kind of just look like a midget, but it's fine.
I know. And if I'm sitting down here too, that's the worst part about it. I do have my seat, so we'll just do this. That's fine. Of course, hey, big news today. Listen.
Look, listen.
Hey, I said at the tail end of the year, we're going to make all of our merchandise available. The limited edition stuff, it is available from now until the end of the year, including a brand new shirt, which God dang it, I'm super excited about. We have our new Challenger shirt right here. And look who's on it. Look at that little yellow son of a bitch right there. Oh, look at that Flash. So we have Mally, we got Flash, we got Vera, we got Razor, we got Kirsha, we got Arch, all in 90s video game style. You guys head on over there and check that out. We also have the new Gamers versus Everyone shirt, or Everybody shirt, which is, the versus everybody shirts. That's kind of the trend right now. But everything is available for you guys to pick up, including the Make Gaming Great Again hat, as well as the Normal Man and the even Blabs karaoke shirts are
it's
available.
back! The bucket hat!
The All-Star Baseball shirt and the Side Scrollers High Life shirt. So head on over there and pick up some merch, man. Get it going. It's probably not going to get to you before the end of the year, but I still encourage you to go get that. Go pick some up because it's some fine-ass merchandise that we have produced over there. All right. We got a lot to get to today, gentlemen and lady. And I'm here to fill you in on, well, actually, Blabs is here to fill you in on today in video game history. What do we got today, Blabs?
Okie dokie. December 16th, we have Jungle Strike.
What?
What?
Okay. This is what we're doing
so
today.
Funny?
This is what we're doing today. All right,
Hell
Blabs.
yeah, we had, we got Jungle Strike released in 1993. Hey, we have Super Tetris 3 in Japan released in 1994. And I feel like this is like the Yellow Flash's guilty pleasure. Subnautica released in 2014. Woohoo!
I've never played that.
Oh. Well, I'm just sad. But yeah, there you go.
Some noticeable games
Now,
of
Jungle
Blabs.
Strike I've played.
Jungle Strike, fine game.
I've
Fine
played
game.
all those games were great.
Super Tetris 3? I don't
I
even know.
don't know about Super Tetris. I've never played Tetris 2.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Well, some noticeable games that Blabs did miss include the absolute classic from the Super Nintendo, ActRaiser. You guys ever heard of ActRaiser before?
No.
Oh
No.
my God.
You made it sound like it was going to be like fucking Chrono Trigger. Or some
Maybe
shit. The way you
maybe.
highlighted it. It's the greatest!
It is. ActRaiser is the best. It has one of the best soundtracks on the Super Nintendo. It has fantastic overworld god tier action while still getting into, like, it was a hybrid game. You had the god world aspect of like a Civ game, and then you get into actual like platforming and action and stuff. It's amazing. Also, another game that Blaz missed today, Mega Man X2. How's that for you, Flash?
Yeah, you fucked up.
No, I did not. I did not. Tomorrow's literally Mega Man Tuesday. There are 2 Mega Man titles for tomorrow.
Is X2 on that list?
Quick tease! Mega Man X, Mario Party 2.
You used the American box art and put Japan underneath it.
Listen,
She did.
listen. I wanted people to be able to relate to it. So, like, this is it, but it was released in Japan, okay? And by the way, if it wasn't for me, you guys wouldn't know Subnautica was released 10 years ago today. So,
Well,
we're learning today. We're not just picking Mega Man all the fucking time, okay? There's
People
enough
also-
Mega Man games out there.
hey, people should know that Donkey Kong Jungle Beat was released 20 years ago for the GameCube. You guys ever play
The
that?
one with the
Oh, my
bongos?
God.
I remember that. I never played it, but
Dude, we had broken bongos all over the store probably 2 or 3 months later, and then we would have them for years. Just broken bongo accessories. Like, why does this exist?
Well, we also have releasing 14 years ago, the definitive version of Street Fighter 4. Ultra Street Fighter 4 was released in Japan, which was great. And I'll tell you what, Flash, you may be interested in this one. Releasing today on PC, Sex Adventures Incest Family Episode 1 is available on PC.
There's more than one episode?
if only they
always
had,
more.
if only you could find a way for them to have sex with Hitler too.
Oh, that'd be a huge
Make it
statement,
a
wouldn't
sex with Hitler spinoff.
Indie gamers. Where
A
you
game so popular, there's like 5 of them.
Oh my God. Well, there you go. That's something that you guys can look. That's today in video game history. How great is that, huh?
Subnautica, though.
Yeah, there you go. Subnautica, though. One thing I did want to point out today that happened over the weekend was the release of a video game related movie. I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Wizard before. You guys ever seen this bad boy?
Oh, I remember this. I remember the power glove.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. Flash, you ever see The Wizard?
Actually, I haven't.
Oh my God, The Wizard is truly a spectacle of late '80s nostalgia. If you go back and watch it, it's not a great movie by any means, but it has some incredibly hype moments and very memeable moments for sure. But The Wizard, for me, was a very big movie in my life, as it had this incredible final scene where they unveiled Super Mario Brothers 3 for the first time. It was pretty much a giant Nintendo commercial. And so they show off Mario 3 in theaters before it's released. And I never saw it in theaters, but the way they did it with the countdown and everything, my God, it was the coolest thing in the world. There's smoke, and it was like, so I modeled all my events after The Wizard and Video Armageddon. It's great times. Anyways, love that. So if you guys, if you normal men in the chat, if you guys ever have anything to say about The Wizard, fire away. We'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Mage Leader came in with the 10, says you guys should cover the Helldivers 2 comeback. Over 180,000 players over the weekend. The war claimed 27 million simulated lives in just 2 days, making it the bloodiest battle in Super Earth history. Yeah, I know they had the big update, and it's built around being in like cities as opposed to being out in the open
Well, they
world.
also have the tanks now too, don't they?
They added a bunch of new stuff in the update.
It looks cool, but I can't find myself going back to Helldivers after all the issues I had with it. And I'm just like, you know what? It's just not worth my time. But I'm glad people are having fun with it.
You ever get stuck in that weird like rut where a game comes out, everybody's playing it, and you're like, oh, that sounds cool. And then a month passes, and then no one's playing it, and you're like, well, now I can't play it. And then you just never play it. That's me with every game now. I'm like, oh, dude, I want to play this thing. And then I don't play the thing. And then a week passes, and then all the people that wanted me to play it are like, yeah, we're playing this now. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I got it on time, but it just kept glitching and freezing on me, and it needed like
I remember.
I had to go through like 2 different patches to finally get an update for it to work, and I've uninstalled it, reinstalled it, like everything I could think of, I did, and it was just like, this is just not worth my time. And when they fuck over the customers like that with the whole PlayStation account, I'm like, you know what, you guys suck. No thanks.
Labs, she's the Karen now.
I am
Raging
definitely not a
Rhino, too.
Karen.
I remember Raging Rhino had massive
Oh
problems.
my God,
too.
Rhino was basically like crying, dude. He was like, I can't play. I was so excited to play.
Well, if you look at the numbers for the weekend, they did see a huge bump from this after, they had that announcement at the Game Awards. This was leading up to it over the last month, 3 months. And you see game's been out. This is a live service game, been out for a good while. 60,000 players 6 months ago. And then bam, up to 150.
Crazy what putting a Halo Warthog in the game will do.
Right. It does look an awful lot like a Halo Warthog for sure. Well, there you go. There's your coverage, Mage Leader. We've talked about the Helldivers 2 update. Thrashify says $1 for every inch of the Goomba.
Thank you.
Is that what we're calling it now, Cam?
That's it.
Nice. Congratulations.
I was in the Wizard.
Love it. And Champion says, sup, fellas and blabs. Hashtag Moana forever. Oh, we're gonna do that today. Silo full of Cool Ranch Doritos says, from a Big Fish song, Surfshark is going to give side scrollers lots of money and everything going to be all right. We are taking sponsorships, which is great, and we've had a couple. We're going to have another one tomorrow, which is great, and on Thursday. So we're very thankful for that and appreciative of people actually getting in bed with a show that doesn't go with the regular narrative, which is cool. Gear says, hello, players. Can we stop pulling friendly fires on what's the game called? It's the card game.
That's the Texas Hold'em game, right?
Yeah. Balatro, that's what it is. I keep looking at all awkward. Can we stop pulling friendly fires onto Balatro and Astrobot and starting firing proper shots on DEI games instead? Thanks. Appreciate
Astrobot's a victim of console bitches.
I agree.
People just being ass hurt because they're stuck in console fanboy bullshit, which is stupid in 2024. PC won.
I think that consoles are awesome because you don't need to constantly be updating it, unlike a PC. With drivers and everything goes. It's a constant arms race with PCs, whereas consoles, like, you have it and it's things are going to work for the most part, which I appreciate as somebody who's not super tech savvy. I don't know, Cody, you want to weigh in on the?
It's kind of with Flash. I agree with Flash because it's kind of archaic. Like when I'm on Twitter for whatever reason or Facebook or whatever have you, and I see someone like arguing with someone else over like PS5 and Xbox, it's like the weirdest. It's like going back in time. I'm like, PC has all of this and more now. Like nothing's really exclusive anymore, unless you're wanting to play old PS4 stuff. Like, I don't know, man. I haven't touched my PS3, PS4, PS5, Xbox. I mean, I have all of them. Haven't touched them. The only thing I've touched in the last year or two is my PlayStation 2. So
let's go.
Astrobot will be on PC, by the way. I'm pretty sure I read a leak like 2 months ago saying 2025. So
Matthew came in and says, look who's here. Camelot finally woke up early enough to be on the show. That's good. Well, I'm glad he's here. One Time Bandcamp says, Craig, did you watch Dread yet? No, I've not seen Dread. I'm sorry, One Time Bandcamp. Gear came back, says, correction, it's the Nintendo Wizards. Oh, that must be the international release name. Angela gifted a membership to the show. Membership to the show.
That's right, memberships.
Mm-hmm. And Major Leader came in and says, PSN isn't required to play Helldivers 2. The community got Sony to back down on that months ago. The bugs and bad balance tweaks were also fixed. Uh-oh, Blabs about to explode.
No, because it's not true. Because I'm literally looking at it on Steam. It says requires third-party account, PlayStation Network.
See,
that was the whole issue.
She's the Karen.
Listen here, Cody. If I'm a Karen for defending consumer rights,
speak to your manager, please.
That's what I'm going to use. Oh my God, I can't wait till I get older. That's what I'm going to say. It's like, look, I'm defending consumer rights here, and you giving my damn coffee with the 4 ice cubes like I asked.
I want 5, actually. 5 ice cubes.
Donkey Bong Bluntry came in and says, Astrobot is just one big PlayStation ad. Fun game, though. Flash, it was your game of the year, right?
Astrobot?
Yeah, didn't you say it was your favorite?
Well, at the time, but I'm kind of liking Dragon Quest a little bit more now. But I mean, I loved Astrobot. I got the platinum for it. It's a great game. It's a great platformer. If you like platformers, you'll probably like it. It's just basically Mario Galaxy, but with PlayStation shit.
Well, I like the sound of that. Orthodox Monk says, I saw Lord of the Rings War of the... is this an actual movie or is this a fan movie? Lord of the Rings...
It's a real movie.
Okay,
broke a Lord of the Rings record. How can you not know about it?
This is the first I've heard about this.
Yeah,
what is this?
The lowest grossing movie for the franchise. New record broken.
Oh. I thought they all did like killers, so...
Not this one. It made $11 million
Oh.
worldwide.
Maybe that's why I didn't hear about it. And Mayonnaise Chase says, The Wizard, a movie about an autistic kid being the best at games now. It's just Twitch streamers being autistic. Nothing changes. That's a great point, Mayonnaise Chase. Appreciate that. Also, Voldemort's Unholy Regirth came in with the 10. Says just some normal innocent support, some normal innocent men. Hail Camelot and thank baby Jesus for his glorious accent. He's the real life Ricky Bobby, and I'm here for it.
Hell yeah.
I'm sure you've heard that before, huh?
Yeah. All the time, man.
And Blabs the Thunderbolt came in with a $50. Check this out, Cam. This has been added to the show since the last time you were on. A $50 direct donation. Says, shut up and take my money. Insert Fry's money meme. Let's go. How about we insert a little bit of that for you? How's that? How about that?
See, I can't even tell if Cody likes it or not because of the shades. His face did not change, so I don't know if his eyes went aruga or not, or who knows.
I just like how they just keep jiggling for no reason. It's like, what is shaking? I can't.
She's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, it's like the car shaking. What's happening?
That video was funny because she's like, I don't like how men look at my breath. And she's got him there like front and center, and she's just acts like she's in a bouncing car, but it's just her pushing against the bottom of the...
I'd do the same thing. If I was a woman and I had giant boobies, that's all I'd do.
Well, you got a big old wiener, so why don't you just walk around doing a helicopter, right?
No, you can't see nothing.
Oh, bummer.
Nothing.
Sorry to
It
hear
looks
that.
like a turtle's head, son. You know what I'm saying? It's sad. The only thing I get is my body serves as some kind of protection when it's cold. That's about it.
Good for you, Cam. I like how open you are about your penis. Thunderbolt, thank you very much. Appreciate your support. And one last one, but once again, we do see every single one of your Super Chats, direct donations, merchandise purchases, and everything. So we're going to get to all those, including Joey says, I think the whole consoles versus PC has always been dumb. They all have their pros and cons. It always comes down to preference. The console fanboys are the SJWs of gaming, while PC fanboys are the vegans.
I would disagree. I think PC fanboys they already know they've won, and they don't have really time or the energy to even argue over PC because they're too busy playing games. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got time. We don't have time for all this. We've already been doing things. You know?
I hear that. PC, are you saying the PC or the console gamers?
PC.
The PC game?
PC's like that, yeah. There's like people are screaming outside. I can hear them right now. Yeah, I'm a PS5. And I'm like, what? Dude, I can't hear you. I got my headphones on, bro.
Blabs, do me a favor. Poll in the chat, please. PC or console?
Oh, I wonder which one will win.
Let's see how this goes. All right. Guys, do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button if you guys are tuning in. Once again, we see a direct correlation between viewership and thumbs uppage, so we'd really appreciate you guys doing that. But right now it's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for Hard News.
Hard News.
Now, Cam, I know that you're on a strict diet right now, my friend, and you're cutting that weight so you can get those washboard abs. Yeah?
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. Like the abs that you have next to you is from Flash. You want to look like that.
Exactly.
Same. By the way, you seen Jake Gyllenhaal's abs?
Yeah, dude. It's weird because your body composition is completely different when you're in your 50s, right? Mm-hmm. It looks great, but it looks different. It's very interesting. It's kind of cool. I like both sides of it. It's like the older body with like the shred. Something about it's even more hardcore. And
wait, who?
Jake Gyllenhaal. He's like 48 or 50, right?
Jake Gyllenhaal's that old, really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I got a lot
of steroids.
Yeah, the steroids.
Yeah, like years.
43 years old.
Jake Gyllenhaal's 43 years old?
What are you doing wrong, Craig? You're the same age as him.
I got to get in on them performance-enhancing drugs.
Why can't you look like this?
Why can't you? Well, listen, I'll tell you what. It's because I eat too much stuff like this. I eat too many nachos from. This is
what the fuck is this?
See, thank you, Flash. Thank you.
Subway is releasing a foot-long nachos.
Really ditching that healthy thing they tried to build up for decades, huh?
Right?
Oh, that COVID killed that forever. I'll never forget. I would get 3 grilled chicken wraps from McDonald's every day, plain, and I would eat 2 for lunch, and then I'd eat 1 for lunch, and I'd eat 2 for dinner later on that night. And that's how I kept myself really in shape because their macros were great. And COVID hit, and I went to McDonald's, and they're like, "Oh, we don't sell those anymore." And I Google it, and yeah, they took it off their menu because to save cost. Because of COVID, and it was almost 5 years later, they're finally talking about bringing it back, maybe. And I'm like, 5 years? You use COVID as an excuse. It's like, oh yeah. It's like,
oh yeah.
What happened, Craig, was for 20 years, everybody's talking about healthy. We need to be healthy, and all these companies need to adopt the idea, show their nutrition facts on the menu. All these things got to do what they need to do. As soon as COVID hit, people didn't need a reason to be healthy. They would just posture that they were healthy because they did one single thing ever and get a shot. Now all that other stuff is meaningless. Exercise, all of it's gone. We don't need any of that anymore. We don't need to eat healthy. I got the shot, bro. I'm healthy now. Well, and then dude, not just McDonald's, Craig. Every single fast food joint dropped all their healthy items, all of them across the board.
Well, and I mean, all you need to do is wear a mask, right?
Just wear a mask
and you're good.
Saves everything. That protects against even AIDS.
Yeah, you could prove to people without having to do anything. The whole point of being healthy is to prove to other people you're healthy and they're bitches and you're better than them. But they found an easier way. They're like, yeah, I got the jab and you have the mask on. And now you didn't have to eat healthy anymore. You could be. That's why you saw all those 500-pound people always with a mask on, and a lot of them still have it on Because they're on their little easy scooter in Walmart. They're like, yeah, I'm so fucking healthy, bro. It's like, no, that doesn't work anymore. You giant butter golem. It's over. Okay, you need to get back on the grilled chicken right now. Yeah, level 70 Blabs, level 70 tier 6 butter golem.
It's pretty good.
It's freaking rough. And they breathe in. They smell like that sweet rot. Ooh. God.
Well, speaking of smelling like sweet rot, that's probably what your poo poo is gonna smell like when after you go to the Doritos, have the Doritos footlong. That's
I might try that though, because I hate Taco Bell, Craig. I've never liked it for some reason. But I was drinking in October or June, I can't remember, or August, and I was drinking and ordered these like some kind of tacos the first time I ever got them, and they were unbelievable. They were so good, and I was drunk. It's probably because I was drunk, but they were great.
What's the best drunk food? Flash, what's the best drunk food? When you've had way too much to drink, and then you're like, man, is it any food? Pizza?
Yeah, pizza.
Greasy pizza, cheese, put some like the 3 meat. Yeah, that's the way to go, in my opinion. But everybody's got their own thing.
Yeah, I think pizza is the easiest. Sometimes I make a lot of pork roast. I think, and just like it's just like fall aparty pork roast. Oh, I'll just like go to the fridge and grab the giant vat of it, and I'll just be like, ugh, just for like an hour. Or chicken and dumplings. Oh, God.
Blaz, what about you? What's your drunk food?
Drunk food?
Yeah.
I try not to eat because then I start shoving a bunch of food in my mouth and it just doesn't end well. So I don't know. Maybe like a sandwich.
Oh no, Ryan, of course a sandwich. You love sandwiches.
Just any sandwich, doesn't even matter. Like it's fine.
No, I mean, like maybe I think we did nachos once at the apartment years and years ago, but I can't really remember. Like I said, I don't normally try to eat a lot of food when I'm super duper trash because then I'll just be a fat ass and eat everything. So, but
the point is that when you're trash, you're not making rational decisions.
But I'm still being rational when I'm drunk because like minute on the like the lips, forever on the hips type of deal. So I'm like, no.
Okay, but here's the thing, Blabs. You're not being irrational enough. You haven't had enough to drink. If you're like,
dude, no.
I appreciate that Blabs is still like, should I have this chicken? You know.
Listen, I'll tell you a little story here. Okay, so first of all, Chet says I used a fake ID. No, I never had to because wherever I drank, it was always legal. 18. Thank you very much. Anyway, so
Guam, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, Guam's 18?
Mm-hmm.
How is that possible?
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so when we did like I've never smoked weed in my life, but we did do like pop brownies once, and like at that point when you're really high, you just eat everything, right? So at one point I realized I was just like taking this entire thing of like nachos with me and one other person. I was like, how can I be doing this? So I forced myself to go to bed so I could stop eating. I'm like, stop. And I went to bed and was like, no, you will go to sleep. But I was super high. Yeah.
I wish that worked. I wish that worked, Blab. It doesn't work like that when you're too far gone. You'll go lay down and you're just flying.
You just start spinning.
You're flying through
like
space,
Gandalf,
seeing images.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I remember flying through space and seeing images of like really important stuff. And then when the next day I realized I was seeing nothing. I remember thinking, and I was like, oh, it was just random splotches. And I was like thinking or gaslighting myself into thinking that it was like important shit. Like, and it's funny. Like that's what always happens. Obviously I can't do that anymore because of racing, but back in I never had a fun time doing it. Never had a fun time doing it. Always freaked me the hell out. But when it comes to drinking and food, I can't drink when I'm on a diet. So that's my whole point is if I drink, like Craig says, dude, I'm the damn Bilbo meme where he's holding the ring and he's like, why shouldn't I have it? It's just me.
I can't do that. I'd be like, no, you put it down, put the chip down. So no.
I'll take 2 shots and I'll be like, you know what? I've done good for a month. Let's eat an entire pizza until I explode. Yeah, that's what I do.
Been there before, for sure. I think we all have. At one point, we just have, unless you're Blabs, you never reach that point to where you're just willing to just shove whatever's in front of you in your mouth.
I have a lot of self-will. I'm also a very picky eater when it comes to food, so it's not gonna be like, oh yes, junk food. No, I'll be like, oh, that looks even grosser when I'm more drunk.
Hey, level 70 tier 6 butter golem came in with the 10. Says, how did you know I smell like sweet rot, Cam?
Dude, it's the fat guy smell. Bro, my 3-4 of my years at GameStop, I was working with this guy that I called Egg back in the day, and he was like 500 pounds, and he always smelled like sweet rice, and that was the first time I ever noticed it. And then ever since then, when I'm around a bigger person that are 400 and 500 pounds, they all have the exact same smell. It's like this weird sweet sweat rot. It's like they can't get to a certain like crevice, and that stuff ekes out and it comes at you. Sweet rot. It's gross.
Well, that's a wonderful way to move on to the next transition, to our next little snippet. Thank you for that, Cam. Appreciate that. Hey, you hear the story about, real quick, Flash, do you have a hero? Like when you were growing up, was there somebody you really admired?
Yeah, not really.
What was that?
What was that sound?
Flash is like,
I was stretching. Sorry.
I only admired myself. That's all I need.
That boy Cam, let's go. What about you, Cam? Did you have an idol growing up?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Okay, so like, look, I know it sounds lame, but you know, when I was a kid, I was watching racing, like NASCAR. It started with NASCAR when I was 9, and it started branching out into like Formula 1 when I was 13, and I watched all this shit for years, like everything. I used to watch way too much of all of it. Now it's kind of dwindled back a little bit, and I kind of watch like highlights. Like I'll watch like a 7-minute highlight reel because all the races come on at 5 a.m. for Formula 1. So, but at any rate, I was a absolutely monumental Jeff Gordon fan when I was growing up, like monumental. And it was when, you know, NASCAR was peaking. People were fist fighting all the time about it. I remember going to Talladega, and I was in the stands, and Gordon won. It was 04, and Jeff Gordon won. It was the first race I had ever been to where he won. And it was, you know, they would sell out 180,000 seats back then. And the whole crowd's electric. Gordon wins. People are throwing stuff. It was on TV. They had to make a new rule about throwing shit because they were throwing beers at Gordon. And I remember my dad like scooped me up because, you know, you don't realize how strong your father is when you're a kid. Scoops me up like a damn paper bag, and like we leave. And it's because it's just like a riot. Like everybody in the stands are just fist fighting because it was Gordon versus Earnhardt Jr. fans. It was so violent back then, and there were people just beating the hell out of each other. And my dad and me, he just grabs me and takes me out. And it's weird because just 15 years later, when Earnhardt Jr. is about to retire, I'm all of a sudden this huge. I love Earnhardt Jr. He's like my second favorite easily by a mile. And it's so weird that back then I couldn't stand him when I was a kid because, you know, it was just the environment. And then like now he's about to retire, and I'm like, damn, I don't want him to retire. I love that much. You know, it's very weird. But he was my idol, little tiny Jeff Gordon, who I've met, and he's the nicest little tiny dude in the world. So.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm just trying to imagine this interaction with you and Jeff Gordon right here. As this girl met Kermit the Frog.
Oh no! How are you gonna segue into this shit after I said that heartwarming story?
Listen, let's just say this. This is Cam over on the left.
Yes.
This is Jeff Gordon on the right. Okay, here we go. We're gonna role play this.
Oh my god, oh my god.
How you doing? You better be careful. There's a creeper behind you.
Don't. That's good. Oh my god, I really do love you. My Discord name is Kermit, and my Instagram name is Kermit is hot. I love you.
Oh, damn. Love you too.
Love you.
Got something for you.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
No.
Well, you said you love me, so.
Yeah.
But not your Willie.
That's the next step. Why not? It's a part of it.
I just love how simply. Yeah. No. Yeah.
I'm just imagining you with Jeff Gordon.
That's what happens. It's you take a bright-eyed, young, bushy little girl, like 18 years old. She walks to the room, and Harvey Weinstein's like, "Hey," and she's like, "Oh my God, you produce everything. This is great." And he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "I got something for you." Yeah. She's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, you said you loved me." She's like, "No." He's like, "No. It's time, baby. You want those 4 movie deal? What's up?"
Oh my God,
That's what I think, Craig. Every time I'm watching, you know, a couple movies here, and I noticed in the last year, I'm like, damn, this same like 16-year-old girl was in like freaking 8 movies this year, and I'm just like, ooh, damn. Because you when you know, you know what I'm saying.
Is
You're
this
like,
what you saw? Is this what you saw?
Yeah.
That's good. Well, never meet your heroes. Blabs, yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't ever want to meet Kermit. Mm-mm.
Can we just talk about how loving Kermit is in this entire exchange?
I know. He's like, oh, bing.
Hey there.
Oh my goodness. Oh
He's
my
How you
god.
doing?
No, yeah.
You better be careful. There's a creeper behind you.
Like he's clearly letting her know there's danger. There's a creeper behind
Except
you.
he's the creeper.
Well,
He's the danger.
Oh my god, I really do love you. My Discord name is Kermit. And my Instagram name is Kermit is hot. I love you.
Oh, damn.
See,
Love
that's
you too.
weird.
Got something for you.
No.
No.
yeah.
Why?
wow.
I don't know. You said you love me, so.
No, but not your Willie.
Can you imagine doing that to a guy? Not Willie. No.
No.
That's why you don't throw around the love word that loosely.
Right,
Right?
I
You throw
agree.
it around to the wrong guy, Craig, that isn't like up on the social situations.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly he's like, meh. Like, oh shit. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you said you love me. What's up? It's like, I have Asperger's. It's like, oh, that's not damn. Fuck, I shouldn't have said that. Now you think I really? I meant like you're totally fine. Shit.
That's right. Just mean you're someone who I like to be around. And they say, oh, really? And then they do that again right there.
Man, you know how many girls did it to me, Craig, when I was in middle school, high school? Girls would be like, oh, I love you. You're so great. I'm like, they'd be like, but not your Willie, though. Like, I meant like as a brother, I'm going to bang the football guy that's an asshole, and then I'm going to call you while you play Elder Scrolls Oblivion all night, and I'm going to tell you how much I'm pissed at him, and I wish that they were like you, except not like you, because you're fat, Cody.
Yeah. Are you trying to work through something here, Cam? Or what's
No,
going
I'm
on?
just saying this is what happened. That was the experience.
What's Jay doing? Jay, it is Christmas season. Hey, go. There you go. Thanks. Just listen to life story. That's okay. Wait, we all got our things we got to work through, and I appreciate that, Cody. That's good stuff. All right. Speaking of people that have to work through things, let's go to a big win in the video game space. There's a lot of nonsense that's going on. We talk about this all the time. There's just insanity happening on. But I do think it's important to highlight big dubs, and this is a big W, if you will. It's from Brandon over on X. Says, this console saved my life. I was on my way home from my local GameStop, Cody, and with my Xbox in my backpack when I was struck by a truck while riding my bicycle. I managed to keep above the truck's steel bumper at first, but eventually was dragged under. I was slammed to the ground, and still he kept going, so I assumed he didn't see me. The Xbox on my backpack prevented me from hitting my head or worse, or even dying. I wasn't going to get shredded beneath the truck, so I used my left leg to attempt to slow the truck. At this point, my bike wedged my right leg, so I couldn't move it anymore. Next thing I know, my backpack was only hanging on by my left shoulder and was slammed into the curb along with me afterwards. I look to the left, and I feel the full weight of the front end of the truck roll up onto my ribs and roll back over. The truck hit and dragged me 12 feet, and soon I was rushed to the hospital with only a single broken bone in my left foot and a few road rashes. I thought the Xbox was a goner, but it started up with no hesitation at all and runs the game surprisingly well considering what it went through. If the Xbox wasn't in my bag at the time, a lot could have happened. And here's pictures of the Xbox, actually in pretty good shape. You can see the controller all sorts of messed up, but there's that. Look at that bad boy right there. Number one, I think we all have one thing to say about this.
Xbox commented on that. What did they say?
They did.
Oh, you'll see.
Yeah, that's where we're going with this right here. But I think that, look, in an instance like this, we all understand that because this person was hit by a car, all cars should be banned. I think that's something that we all agree on, right? That's good. But Xbox did respond. It says, we're so glad you're safe and hope the recovery is going well. We know you mentioned your Xbox is still working, but we'd love to send you a new one if you'd like. Would you be okay for us to DM you? And here it is. Guess what? They sent him a new one right here. The package has arrived. Huge thanks to Xbox and everyone on Reddit who supported the Made by Christmas. I was sent an Xbox Series X 1 terabyte and a year of Game Pass Premium as well. So there you go. Like, I think that's a nice little
great
win.
story.
They should have. I don't know. Like, they should have went a little bit further and like made it a custom one with like custom plates, or at least have a custom design of like a truck on it.
It's never good enough for you, is it, Cody?
Yeah.
A little guy underneath the truck too.
Yeah, like a little guy and he's screaming and the truck's hitting him. That'd be hilarious.
No, I think it's a great message. It's like the what was it? The Yeti? Was that what it was when the car burst into flames and the water cup were able to keep everything cool and they sent them like a new cup and everything?
Yeah.
I think it's great PR for Xbox, especially because they really need something positive right now. And it was like, we don't need good games. It's like, but your console saved somebody's life, so take it where you can get the win. I think it's a great story.
Of course. Yeah.
No, it's a great story. It's just I feel like the Xbox could have been cooler looking to commemorate his trauma. You know, the truck box.
Maybe a splatter of blood.
Yeah,
on the side of it or something. You know.
Yeah.
I like what you maybe a little customization in an
Just
order.
something.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like what you got going on there. That's nice. All right, I don't know anything about this story. I just Blabs put this in the run sheet today, but so I'm going to let Blabs lead on this.
Okay.
But YouTube is testing voice replies for commenting for some creators. I'm sorry.
So, like, you know how you reply in the like live streams and all that, and you can do like apparently you can do audio. So that's what they're testing. But then you gotta wonder what will happen like during a COD lobby, which is what they're saying there too. So this is like multiple new features are coming around with YouTube, right? Like last week we talked about like the subtitles and everything, automatic. Now this.
They need.
They'll just detractors will just find a way to blame us for the comments.
Of course.
Like you ever
That's
see
what I'm
like
saying,
people say, "Look what posted on that video." The comments. I don't have any fucking control over that.
Yeah, see, they need to. The TOS needs to be updated to make any comment made by the text to talk to be completely out of the system, because you know there's gonna be people super chatting $100 just to say the N word over and over.
True, unless there's already filters like where those things are already out. Who knows?
People can. I've seen people do some crazy shit to bypass that.
I agree.
They will make it happen, and then all of a sudden they're striking the channel. Oh, somebody said the N word on his, and then I'm getting a strike for it. That's what they need to make sure they figure that out, because
you see people do it. They'll instead of, they'll use the I with the accent.
Yeah.
So there's an I with the accent on you. Like there's ways around this shit. There always is.
Yep.
And somehow that's our fault.
Yep. So they need to update that TOS and make sure that it's just across the board. We're not in any way, shape, or form responsible for a text talk ever.
Well, how does this work with OBS? Because that feature already has it, right? Like where super chats pop up on OBS and like, the robot talks to you and reads your super chats. So, and then that goes on YouTube. So it's like, I wonder how does that work too?
You just turn it off, Blabs.
No. But like, let's say you have it on and it automatically just reads somebody's super chat that says a bunch of bad shit in it.
Well,
then you could get a strike on YouTube.
Yeah, in that situation, you're responsible for whatever goes to your stream. But
I'm thinking this is the same thing then too. Even though it's a YouTube feature, you're still gonna be responsible.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. So that's why they need to fix that immediately.
Yeah, probably. There's probably something to that. Blabs, do me a favor. Let's get some super chats while I adjust my camera. I'm tired. Of
what are you doing over there?
I'm tired of standing. I need to adjust my camera.
Okay.
Got really short.
He's a midget today. All right. So over on locals. Midget. Over on locals, Spoon Ninja for $1 says Craig is standing up and Camelot is here. Is Craig going to do Naked Snake? I don't think he even knows what that is. Spoon Ninja for $1 also says Doritos made a horror game years ago and made you give them your phone number, then called you in the middle of the night to scare the shit out of you. Is that real? Did that happen?
That sounds like a great business model.
How to scare your customers away. Mr. Michael gifted one size scroller membership. If you got one from Mr. Michael, please say thank you. Right, Craig? Memberships?
Yep, apparently.
That's right. Tanushi says PC and Nintendo is the best possible combo. Every other console exclusive eventually ends up on PC anyway. See, that is a great point. Joey says it's actually the console players who don't normally argue about consoles versus PC because we come home too tired to give a crap. Are you kidding me? Console players who don't argue? Have you not seen the Sony ponies?
No, he's kind of right because he said because the console gamers come home from work, yeah, and they're not, they're too tired to argue. Whereas people that have PCs usually they like work from home, they have high intellects, they ain't got that makes sense. Console gamers work 9 to 5 at Taco Bell. PC gamers, usually are in STEM fields working from home. Engineers.
No, Sony ponies are real. Caleb says, "What was the weird Americans?" Okay. Retro Panda says, "Howdy, Camelot from a fellow Alabamian."
Howdy, Retro Panda.
ADDF Toxic says, "Craig's surprised at Jake Gyllenhaal's age. He's gonna be surprised when he dies." By the way, breaking news: Ivan Reitman died.
Oh, tough to hear that today. Ivan Reitman, rest in peace, buddy.
The ghost of Pinochet? I'm not sure.
Yes.
Pinochet says, "Best drunk food is inarguably White Castle sliders and fries." Ew, isn't like White Castle just a way to go use the bathroom? Singular BDC says, "Is that donut operator?"
Yes.
Dash Attack says, "This sounds like what Sega of Japan did after Westerners took their complaints on localization to the Japanese branch." Thank you. Mouthy says, "You're so hardcore, Blabs. Weed brownies." Well, no, not really hardcore. Schlangen nanners. 21 drinking age due to interstate highway funding deal. Guam has no interstate highways. Jesse says, "Ron Jeremy, you know.
He's talking about the one that he looks up to most.
Oh. Gear says, "You're right that consoles shouldn't exist, Yellow Flash. When I saw the Intergalactic Heretic Prophet, I was so cringe that Porsche should back off from that." Thank you. Six String says, Lady Desiree is now on week 2 of front page time on Kick. Check her Twitter to see the scheduled time on drop by to enjoy the music. Yes, thank you.
All right.
Des is rocking it on Kick lately.
Yeah, go check out Des, and let's go ahead and we'll get the rest of your super chats and direct donations here in just a little bit. We'll want to continue on with the show. Appreciate you guys and your support. You guys allow us to do this on a day-to-day basis, and we are extremely grateful to have your support. So thank you for that. All right, let's move on to a little bit of BioWare news. Now, this comes to us courtesy of Kotaku, flagged to us by Arch, who will be on our show on Wednesday. Looking forward to that. Make sure you guys tune in. This was kind of interesting. Kotaku in Action, which is a great Reddit thread, says, "I work as a contractor for Mass Effect 5. I do QA. I have a warning for you." Now, on the surface, you could be like, interesting. But as you dig a little deeper, we'll see how this goes. It says, "We got an all-hands deck meeting last week. Devs were asked to delay features, art, and content that may be deemed considered woke or political, and defer them to future patches. As QAs, we were tasked to report if we audit or detect anything that might resemble them so they can be fixed. The company wants to launch the game as, quote, clean as possible to and introduce, quote, woke stuff silently through patches. I fear this might be industry-wide. They wouldn't be issuing this stuff early otherwise, so tread carefully, that's all." So the idea of them, it's kind of like a Trojan horse, if you will. They introduce the game, it looks totally fine. It's not on Brutus's DEI detected list, and then ba-bam, ba-bam, a couple updates, and you got yourself, trans lesbian black hooker sex worker who also has AIDS.
Yes. Right. So that's the way I think about it is they're still likely getting funding approved for it if they promise things like that and or show evidence of things like that. They're going to be introduced at a later date because it's all about money, right? No one actually gives a damn about any of these things. The only people that kind of give a damn are people that give a damn on purpose on Twitter to faux outrage and to faux this moral superiority that they care just about everybody else just a little bit more than their average man, which means we wish death on them because that's how that works, right? So that's the whole point. I'm thinking that might be very well true because they could just introduce it later on and still get all that delicious funding and that delicious ESG that they've been trying to get the entire time. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Flash, what about you? You think this is something that could be happening here? BioWare's like, hey, we're just going to get the game out there, make it awesome, and then introduce all the nonsense.
Yep.
They could do it. So I got a really bad text message.
Uh-oh. Do you need a bolt? You need a bolt?
No, it's somebody in the community passed away. I can't say
Oh.
who it is yet because the family hasn't announced it. But
Oh, what a bummer. I'm sorry to hear that.
Jesus, man.
Oof. Well, you need to take a few minutes?
No,
Okay.
it'll come out soon. But
Well, do you need to take a few minutes, though?
I just got it text random to me, man. It's just I'll be okay. Let's go.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Well, then your thoughts on the idea of BioWare releasing the game as is, and then kind of slowly introducing the trickle of the DEI, the woke, and everything else later on.
I'd be a good backdoor to trick people and get it in.
Blabs, do you think this is a plausible thing?
I would not put it past anybody doing these kind of tactics anymore, but we talked about this a couple of weeks ago with Valor Dark, how like games were gonna be like changing stuff, for example, like the boobs and all that, and then the arachnophobia modes for like Star Wars and Hogwarts Legacy. And to me, this kind of just fits in with all that shit. It's like, stop changing stuff once you already release it. Like, it should, once you release a product, it should be done. And I mean, we don't have that anymore, right? We always have to have patches and all that shit. But I just think leave games alone as they are, unless you are fixing them because like an actual game-breaking bug. Otherwise, fuck off. That's my thing with that. So no, I don't want any of this shit.
I think that's how most people are. You know, the vast majority of people. They don't want any of this nonsense in games. That's really, how that's what the gamers have spoken in 2024. I was on Valiant Renegade stream yesterday for a little bit, and we were talking about the Smash JT lawsuit with Alyssa Mercante. Cody, have you followed it? Have you seen any of that stuff?
Yeah, I've been following on Twitter for a long time.
Yeah, it's a mess. But I think that 2024 was a very big moment for gamers and the customer saying, "Hey, we don't want this," and they are speaking with their wallets. Which, will we see a shift in the market in 2 years from this? I think so. I think we absolutely will. And in the meantime, Korean and Eastern developers will be eating Western developers' lunch.
Yeah, well, the entire issue is how long it takes to make games, right? So we're going to still be seeing remnants of this. Let's assume it's going to go away. You're going to see remnants of it for a little while.
Oh, sure.
At least until 2027.
Yeah,
26.
exactly. But you have companies like Walmart and companies, big giant corporations completely announcing they're getting rid of all their DEI initiatives, completely scrapping the entire department. So I foresee that something good could come of this, but for a little while, you're going to still see this stuff trickling into games.
Speaking of that, did you see that Alyssa Mercanti and that Ash Parrish and a couple other people are deleting their tweets?
We did see that. Had a conversation, actually. Smash's lawyer Ron was on yesterday with us as well, Ron Coleman, and that was a big point of discussion during that. And I'll say this: I asked Ron straight up about Smash. Like, I was like, I don't understand why Smash doesn't countersue and then sue Kotaku and then sue everybody else, because they enable this behavior, and then he ends up owning Kotaku. And you know what Ron said to me? He said, that Bob Iger sure is a crazy guy. And he tried to pivot away from the conversation, just kind of, he's like, yeah, you're thinking the right way here. So this whole thing with Mercante and Smash, this is going to be a long-term thing. And this is going to go for a long, long time. And there's going to be repercussions from this for sure, for a long time. It's certainly intriguing. So,
I would love to see Kotaku get sued.
Wouldn't that be just like spectacular? It really would.
Bring that Ethan Gach guy into it. That guy lives for cancel culture.
Yeah, I saw he's crossed $50,000 on his Give Send Go. So
yeah, we had him on over the weekend and helped him out there.
Yeah. All right, let's go and move on. This came out late last week, but haven't had a chance to talk about this, and I'm sure you did a video about this, Flash, but this is just absolutely amazing. The new Assassin's Creed Shadows game is coming out in February. It was supposed to be out in November. And we talk about journalism mode. I mean, this is straight up a journalism mode, as Assassin's Creed Shadows will have a canon mode that will make all the correct RPG decisions for you. So you're playing a role-playing game that's more or less going to play the game for you. Cody,
So it's a normal game.
Right,
It's just normal now.
Literally just going to hold your hand all the way through.
Yeah.
You guys have any thoughts on this?
I think they shot
Lame.
themselves a long time ago.
It's journalist mode.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. The thing I was really caught off was this Andy Chalk guy who wrote this article for PC Gamer. And he starts here. It's a little embarrassing to admit that, but I'm sometimes paralyzed by choices in RPGs. What? Like, what kind of freaking snowflake gets paralyzed by choices in a role-playing video game? I don't know. So he's like, oh, you know, it's a pretty good idea.
Journalists.
Right. And I went to go look for Andy Chalk and just kind of get a little more information about him. And Andy Chalk looks as awesome as you'd think Andy Chalk would. But Andy Chalk no longer posts over on X, as he's part of the mass exodus of X users. And you can now find him over on Blue Sky. So good for him. Good for Andy Chalk and his wonderful video game journalism.
Over in the cheese pizza paradise. Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude. It's funny when you actually they ran that study showing the political affiliation of general users on X, and it's almost completely split directly down the middle. And it's funny that there's people out there that will leave an app because they're not getting special treatment. It's
Right.
like, because keep in mind, equality seems like oppression to those that are used to special treatment, right? So all these people are used to getting their asses wiped and licked and kissed on, which is all good and well. Trust me, I love that shit. But when they have to actually show you some tough love every once in a while, like when you wish death on people and you get a 7-day ban, like everyone else, they're like, "Wow, I'm not allowed to wish death when I hold the moral position which justifies death as a means to an end." No.
I think you hit something there.
Okay.
A lot of this is built around the idea that many of these people have never been told no. They've lived very privileged, sheltered lives, and while they may have had some hardships in their life, may not have been able to buy that extra chicken value meal or whatever it is at one point. Look, we all go through that stuff. We've all been at a point to where it's tough to get by, right? We all have been there. But I think that many of these people have never been punched in the face. They've never been slapped. They've never been in a fight before, and this is how they react in that situation. And you can tell, you're always tough till you get punched in the face, and these people have certainly not been punched in the face.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah. And even those who throw out things like, "Hey, fight me, bitch," don't want to get don't want to get in fights. We saw Vera with Mercante and all that stuff where she's all tough until it's time to actually go, and then all of a sudden, sorry.
It's so weird. Like that, I've had that in the past before, where somebody said they wanted to fight me, and I'll go look at images of this person, and it's a person that is either A, skinny fat, or B, just fat, and they've never you can tell they've never stepped foot in a gym in their entire life, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize the difference between benching 405 and you not benching the bar? It doesn't matter how good you think you are at fighting, you're gonna die. You'll be dead. You're gonna die. What are you doing? It's like the weight difference thing where they think girls that are 105 pounds can take on 260-pound guys. No, you're done. You're dead.
It got announced, so I can say what happened now. Legal Vices, if you know who that is, passed away from heart failure in Korea. Yeah, passed away yesterday. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Wow. I'm just looking at this real quick. Legal Vices.
He is a YouTube lawyer.
Okay.
He didn't have a huge channel, but he was a really cool guy. I really liked him, and it's sad to see him go.
Died of heart failure, huh?
Yep.
Man, streamed 3 days ago. Wow.
That's how quick it can come, man.
Yeah, man. That's upsetting. That's upsetting. It's you never I don't like to see people die. I don't like to see people lose their jobs, and that's unfortunately part of life, Well, rest in peace, Legal Vices. I didn't know you, but I'd hate to see you go. Speaking of people losing their jobs, we had this news from Warner Brothers Games Montreal, as 99 people have lost their jobs. over there. And the quote here, I feel like the company just ruined 99 lives. I hate statements like this because, like, yes, it is probably the worst day of your life that you got fired. Was the best day of your life when you got hired? Did the company make your life when you were hired? You know, I feel like it's a really loaded statement. And this is just a really good example of GameIndustry.biz pushing, you know, this emotional, that's what they're going for, this emotional, sub headline here. But is anybody really surprised when this is after they ended support for Suicide Squad? We talked about this.
We were hearing about layoffs. People were talking about that from insiders months ago. So they're just now confirming it then?
Mm-hmm. Well, this just happened. 99 people. It says, as reported by Radio Canada, on the same day Rocksteady Studios was confirmed it ended support for Suicide Squad less than a year after its debut. Staff were invited into a video conference after which 99 people at WB Games Montreal were informed they'd been laid off with 8
What a Christmas
notice.
present.
Yeah, right. Well, at least they got a heads up. There have been a lot of people who have been fired right before Christmas in the video game industry. We saw
IGN.
IGN got. Well, it wasn't necessarily fired. They were offered like an exit, and
the news lady, the Kim something, right? Wasn't that her name? The big one that got fired that Ethan Gawke was sad about because you know she was a big cancel hog. She was the reason that Stellar Blade got so much shit because she wrote that trash article trying to say they were all sexist.
Yeah.
So fuck her.
It's hard to have sympathy for these folks.
Burn, bitch.
Yeah. But this person says, I felt stressed and depressed. Well, yes, that's what happens when you lose your income. Vlad's literally laughing about that.
Common sense. Listen, I don't feel happy for these people who have to like go and find other jobs. It is stressful 100%, but I think they will be okay. I think they will find other jobs. But like I was saying last week, I went undercover and I discovered like Unbroken Studios, who co-developed Suicide Squad. They completely developed Quidditch Champions. They are also doing layoffs too, but that hasn't really been announced yet. It's kind of like internal. Mm-hmm. So yeah, layoffs everywhere. Shout out Warner Brothers.
Yeah, everyone. Do we have that list of how many people have been fired this year?
It was 14,000 the last time I looked at it. Let me just pull it up. Let's see.
14,000. What's that?
That's a lot of people, man.
Yeah, 14,600 as of December 12th, 2024.
They're going to need a lot of people in China to develop games. Maybe they can get jobs over there.
So here it is. This is all for this year. It is not including everybody because this is a couple of days old. But yeah, it just goes and goes. These are all layoffs for just this year. Yay.
Just keeps going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny over there, huh?
Yep.
All right, let's go and move on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Code, so they'll be all right.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, I think that when you lose your job, it can be the worst or the best thing that happens to you, you know? And some people see it as an opportunity. Others just go into their shell and become recluses and wallow in their pain. Look, you can go do something about it, or you can, you know, and oftentimes many people after they get fired, they find better paying jobs, which, hey, we'll see if maybe they can hire that one guy that we talked about this past week that works for Tencent. They can go to that guy, right, Blabs?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of openings in
Shout
China.
out Amir.
Yeah, Amir, let's go.
Because China's going to come in and take over because they keep pushing all this trash. China doesn't do that. It's like illegal in China to push some of that femboy shit that they do here. So,
well,
I mean, Wukong was a pretty good game.
Rest in peace, 99 developers at Warner Brothers Montreal. You didn't die, but your career did.
And it's going to be even higher in the next couple of days with more Warner Brothers layoffs. I'm thinking maybe 200 total.
Probably January. Yeah, I don't think they're going to like the week.
Well, no, because a lot of them were saying they were being fired at the end of the year. So in the next 2 weeks, we're going to see all these announcements.
Well, in that situation, they were given 8 weeks lead. They said, look, you're going to be fired in 8 weeks. So that's when the support for Suicide Squad ends.
That's right.
Yeah. So, all right, let's move on to this tweet. There's been a lot of back and forth since the Game Awards about this look of the character in the Intergalactic game. Cody, have you seen the Intergalactic lead character?
Is that the bald lady?
It is the bald lady.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I got to be honest with you. When I just wish I could look in the room with the developer or whoever's designing this, and they're designing it, and they got it full screen in 4K, and like, what do you guys think? And there's not one person that was like you're shitting me, John, right? Like, hold on, John, you're shitting me, right? Because this is terrible, right? This is absolutely atrocious, and I guess they just get fired. I don't know what happens.
Well,
I guarantee you, when they were designing this character, they were like, the fucking chuds are gonna hate this one.
Yeah,
Right.
you're probably right.
Those chuds.
They do it on purpose just to piss people off instead of just making a good freaking game.
Right. Well, this is the character here, and a lot of people have been really upset about the look of this character, and a lot of back and forth. You see, like Flash said, this idea of
I'm not upset about it. I think it's great.
Why is that, Flash?
Because we all know how the story is going to end.
Yeah.
Right.
And honestly, I fuck Naughty Dog too for all the shit that they pulled when Last of Us 2 dropped. Copyright striking people. They knew what they were doing. They admitted what they were doing. It's a shitty company. Neil Druckmann is a piece of shit. So I'm glad he doubled down. I'm so glad he doubled down. This game is going to kill that studio.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about the direction of the character and how, I said this earlier on X, that gamers and just the entertainment audience as a whole, customers are not dumb. They notice a trend, they see a trend, and they recognize a trend. It's the old fool me once, shame on me, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me type of thing. But Asmongold had a tweet that really blew up over the last weekend, and it said, maybe it's just me, but I feel like the market for masculine, non-conventional, attractive female leads in games isn't as big as the video game industry thinks it is. Which seems like the most vanilla statement ever. I don't think this is extremely controversial at all. So let's go start there. Cody, your thoughts on just that general statement, the idea that the market for masculine, non-conventional, attractive female leads in games isn't as big as the video game industry.
It doesn't exist. It's catering. Even women, like, so something people don't really understand or talk about is even women don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, women like traditional, attractive women. Like, even unattractive women like traditional. They like to say that.
Even if they say they don't.
They do. Attractive people are attractive. The word attractive means to attract everything. Even my cat likes attractive women. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's absolutely ridiculous to say that they're trying to appeal to they're just trying to piss people off and trying to get a reaction. That's all they're trying to do.
Well, the response to this was like a fucking nuclear bomb went off, because this quickly, people all of a sudden went to, oh my God, their response is just like this. These guys are just proving the point.
Pronouns in bio.
Let's see.
You can see it right there on the right.
You're right.
Under
You
relevant
him right
people.
there. Yep. These guys are just proving the point that they can't see women as anything other than sex objects, which I don't understand how, like, that's what you got from this tweet.
That's funny, because every time I see Asmongold, he's got a smoking hot woman with him. So that's a fucking cope text right there. Fuck these people. All of them are scum.
They continue, it says, never heard them complain that they don't find male protagonists fuckable, right? And I don't think Asmongold said anything about her being fuckable in this game, in this tweet at all. Am I missing something here at all, right? I don't know, maybe I missed, but going back says, but if it's a female protagonist, she has to be anime sexy. Genuinely incel behavior, never touched a real woman.
She should be sexy. Sex sells.
It's
Both
like
men and women should be good looking and attractive in the game.
Do you think that Arnold Schwarzenegger, with all of his muscles and good looks in the 80s and 90s, would have been cast if he wasn't incredibly handsome and had just ripping washboard abs and giant biceps?
Nope.
I don't think so either. Blabs, what are your thoughts on this? You got your hand to the chin.
Right. So, can you pull up Asmongold's tweet and that dude's response to him again, please?
Sure.
Right. So I see really nothing wrong with Asmongold's tweet. He's just saying like, I don't think there's an actual market for so many repetitive, well, bland women in video games when in comparison, like 20 years ago, think of all the hot women and babes and all that stuff, right? I think that's a fair assessment saying, something seems off here. I don't really like that this other person is just like quote tweeting and attacking just based on his opinions. Like, well, you have no argument to stand on here. Incel behavior, never touched a real woman. It's like, so we can't have an opinion, which really is just like an assessment based off of last 20 years of video games. So just pretty stupid. For me, about this bald bitch, it's not the fact that she's ugly or anything. I think she's very, very mid. I think the other
more than her
graphics...
attractiveness, it's her the projection she gives.
Oh, you use like smug attitude and all that?
Smug, I know it all, I'm better than you.
See, if that comes into like
you could tell
play and it's part of the character that she has in the game, and it actually proves to be like a point of the story, like because she's a smug bitch, arrogant, SOB, she gets someone killed by accident, something like that, that's like, oh, so this all makes sense. But to me, the biggest issue with this was in other stills of her, she's extremely disproportionate. Like her arm is like it's massive, her head and her neck is super tiny. It's like, what is going on here? Like, are we gonna ignore all that? Like, just because she's a bald bitch, whatever. But like, the game looks stupid with all disproportionate. So I'm just like, I'm not really interested about it. And again, this is Naughty Dog, and they had all that copyright stuff that Flash said back in like, what was it? Was it 2019 or some shit like that? And they were copyright striking everybody and their mother. So I just personally, I'm not a big fan of the company.
Blabs, here's the issue with that. You cannot have a character that holds a let's say a group identity, right? So you can't have a character that's obviously a person of color, that's obviously probably not straight. That character can't exist in your video game if they go through strife or character arc. They're already perfect to begin with.
That's true.
You cannot. You'll notice this if you ever see like a modern movie or TV show from 2018 to 2023, 2024.
Right. All the Star Wars chicks.
All the like white characters in a TV show will have all kinds of strife, trauma. They'll have all these flaws, but all the characters that have to teach them to be great are all these characters that are either gay or a person of color. So no, this character will have absolutely no flaws. She'll be a smug ass character from the very beginning all the way to the very end.
She'll also be a lesbian.
Yes.
Is that confirmed? Like she's a lesbian?
Oh, she's for sure gonna be.
Just look at her.
Well, I mean, like we can look and we can assume all we want, but perhaps she'll be like, I am pure, no vagina or dicks, like who knows what this character's about. So I don't know. I'm not personally for it. I think the argument over she's bald, nobody asked for that. It's like, I think we're starting to lose the plot here. We want good looking games with good characters, some type of like development in the plot would be great. Great gameplay. I don't really give a shit if she's bald or not.
Well, okay, let me just say this. I saw a tweet from somebody saying, I think it was Fran over at IGN, who was like, wait, well, why don't these people hold their judgment until you see gameplay? Why don't they understand? It's like, because they didn't give you any gameplay. You're judging literally a book on its cover at this point. So
yeah, it's like a movie.
It is what it is. They said teaser trailer, but we'll continue here looking at other responses here. Maybe it's just me, but I don't judge a video game based on how easy I can fap to its protagonist, right? And the reality is that nobody really does that. A very small section of people do that, but it goes back to the trend that we've seen over and over and over again. Just look at Concord. Look at the uglification of some of these female video game characters and men, just the androgyny associated with it. It has nothing to do with whether or not they're quote unquote fuckable or not. It has nothing to do with that. It's just the trend that we see over and over and over again. And we see this one from One Peg. I don't know who this guy is. Says, do most guys usually play games on whether or not they'd fap to it?
It's always the same. These people are more obsessed with the sex shit than anybody else.
Bit ironic for name of One Peg, huh?
Hey.
Yeah, it always flashes right. It always boils down right back to like, oh, it's all masturbating. But no, No, it has nothing to do with that. It's they always do this thing where everything is extremely black and white, right? So, well, you just want to have sex with the character. It's like, no. See, I don't want a character. I don't want to play as a character that looks like Danny DeVito, and I don't want to play as a character that looks like this lady right here. I want to play as a character that looks like they would actually be in the situation you're trying to portray them in. Ellie in Last of Us and Dino or Dina or whatever the hell her name was, they're 5'1", 102, maybe 98-pound women, and they're going through buildings clearing 250-pound guys out of the building. That is ridiculous. And then when they walk out of the building, they start having this weird, like, normal conversation that normal modern day people don't even have. Where, what do you want to do when we get home, babe? Yeah, babe. Haha, babe. And I'm like, what the? They just killed 200 dudes. Like, this is the most asinine bullshit I've ever seen in my life. And that is why you can't play the games, because it's so ridiculous. At least they made that one chick steroid induced. That's about the only thing that's done to make
she was eating all the protein of the survivors.
Yeah, at least she was jacked. But other than that, it's all very, very silly. Oh, by the way, also a woman that's jacked to the absolute gills would still get destroyed by me in every lift by times about 400%. So just no one would have followed that Abby girl. They would have punched her in the face. This is post-apocalyptic world. In the post-apocalypse, there are no women. There's just men.
I don't even think you could have unless you were breeding your own animals to keep them coming over and over. Like, where would you find? It takes a lot of food to look like that. That's why the joke was always funny that she was eating all their rations.
Yeah,
because she would have to get that build she had, especially as a woman.
As a woman,
she would actually have to be injecting some testosterone too.
Yeah, as a woman, women do not build meaningful mass unless they're on some type of testosterone and or Anavar, which is like the most commonly used for women. It's an oral. Like, if you ever, people like are silly out there, they'll show those videos of those girls walking up at CrossFit competitions, and they're like 180 pounds and like a 90 pack and thick and huge, and people are like, man, that's a lot of hard work. Yes, it is, but it's also about $18,000 a month in gear. Like, stop being dumb as hell. Anybody on earth that has a little bit of size on them and they're a little cut, they're on gear. Everyone. And that's the one of the weirdest common misconceptions about all these things is people go to the gym and they see jack dudes or whatever, especially a meathead gym, and they're like, I wonder if he's no. 100% of them are on gear. 100%.
When you say
across
gear,
the board.
You mean like
anabolic steroids, yeah.
Okay.
Like The Rock saying
oh my god,
he's the biggest he's ever been and cuttest, and he's like, yeah, dude, I just eat like a lot of eggs and stuff. I'm like, no, you're 50.
Is that testosterone replacement therapy?
Well, people will get on stuff like that. They'll get on like testosterone, and then they'll crank it up.
Mike Tyson's on that.
Oh, for sure.
Oh my god, The Rock is 52.
Yeah, and you don't.
Joe Rogan, he's doing that too.
Yeah, you don't produce testosterone after a certain age, man. So like that, the point is, you get on it, and you'll throw like 1,500 milligrams a week on it, and then you'll do like some oral gear, and you'll get massive. Right?
I used to have this conversation with two guys I used to work with over at Game Attack, and they were like, no, The Rock's doing it natural. I'm like, are you fucking insane? Like, are you that fucking dumb? Turns out they were that fucking dumb.
It's the layman, Craig. It's the layman. It's people, and this happens with any field. Like, I'll have people ask me questions, or they'll speak with such confidence about something that I know a lot about, like, like racing, like actually racing in like NASCAR. People will speak with such confidence about something that it's not even remotely true.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. You have no idea, but you're so confident. And that's the same thing with gym culture and gear. Like, people like argue natty or not all the time. Like, normal people, not gym goers, by the way, normal people will look at a picture and be like, oh, natty or not. And they're both jacked, shredded dudes. They're both on gear. There is no such thing as being shredded and jacked and on gear and are a natural. That's not a real thing. There's no such thing as being natural and huge. There's something called the natty limit. And for me, it's like 183 pounds. I will never be heavier unless I'm on gear at a cut rate at 183 pounds. It is impossible for my size, not physiologically possible as a human. But people think that people can actually be 300 pounds of muscle naturally. It's the most insane shit. But they don't know because they're not involved in it. They've never worked through it. They never bulked and cut 5 times. They don't actually understand that oh damn, this actually is impossible. Yeah, it is. You're just stupid, and you don't know anything about the culture, and that's the main problem here. So no, you got to put a character in a game, Craig, that is the situation they're in is believable. If it's not believable, no one's going to pay attention to it.
Well, if you'd like to see Blabs as a completely unbelievable roid head, you can find it on a new Challenger T-shirt. You see how jacked up those shoulders are right there. Look at that, Blabs.
Call me Helga.
It's ma'am.
You guys go pick up the T-shirt now. I'll tell you, but Gundam, it's Papa Gundam. It's a Gundam came in, and he says what everybody else wants to say. He says, "Dear video game industry, I don't need representation. I need something to inspire me and distract me from the modern day BS I'm forced to live with. Thank you." That's it. 100% right. Like video games.
We deal with enough nasty, smug people in real life. We don't need to play as them in an escapism hobby.
Makes you feel so good about things. But I think this also, once again, shows the disconnect. That is saying, all they want to do is have sex with these video game characters. Like, that's such low-hanging bullshit, pretentious fruit. It doesn't taste good. Nothing about what you just said makes any sense at all, because you clearly haven't noticed the trends that everybody else has noticed. Once again, go look at Dustborn, look at Concord, go down the list and look at these games and tell me that you haven't noticed a trend along the way, which ultimately, when we look at a trailer like this from Intergalactic, you see it, you see the player, and you immediately make a decision. Everybody makes decisions. Everybody is voting with their wallet immediately. And you want people to get excited about what you have going on. Those who work within the industry are very excited about Intergalactic. The customers on X who are voicing their opinions about this have shown that they're not necessarily enthusiastic about Intergalactic. And it's actually run over to YouTube as well, as the YouTube trailer got ratioed. So people so people truly aren't that interested in what's being thrown down right now. So will they ever take a look? Will these developers actually take a cold, hard look at themselves? Probably not. I think that the video game industry, like, they could do, and I've said this before, but they could do what Elon Musk did to Twitter and ransack 80% of the industry, and it would still be fine.
Yep. Because you get rid of all these overinflated, completely just swollen video game companies that are putting out BS after BS after BS after BS. Just get rid of all of them, and then I just leave From Software or something. I'm fine. That's all I need. From Software.
Well, they're going to be owned by Sony soon, so sorry.
Yeah, that's scary.
All right, let's go ahead and hit some of these amazing super chats. You guys have a lot to say, including Paper Liger, who came in with a $50 super chat. Says so sad about Warner Brothers Montreal. Maybe they can learn to code. Hey, Paper Liger, thank you so much for that generous support. Wonderful super chat right there.
Man, those look so nice. I gotta say,
a pink boy, Cody.
Yes, a big old juicy pink boy.
Got to get them.
So my question with that, whenever somebody says learn to code, isn't that what they want AI to be doing?
Listen, AI will own everything very, very shortly.
To become plumbers, because they can't do that.
That's right. Speedy Cake came in and says, I was watching the Friday-Thursday stream and recalled Blabs talking about teacup pigs, and remembered one of the Paul brothers had one right up until they found out they don't exist and are just regular pigs.
No, they're like really, really small ones, though. I could have sworn, man. I'm gonna look it up. Teacup pigs. Damn it, I wrote pug.
Also says, and Raygun's back in the news for copywriting her dances to stop What? Do a little digging on that, Blabs.
Of course she is.
Oh my God. Tell me it's not a girl.
Miniature pigs, also called mini pigs or micro pigs, are small breeds of domestic pig.
Are they called teacup pigs, though?
Yeah, they actually are called that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Norm says, Kotaku, a Trojan horse, only works if people don't know if you're in it. Thanks for the heads up, though, as well as the ETA on when to refund Mass Effect 5 if I buy it. Thank you, Norm. Appreciate that.
I'm not going to get it.
Stay at Home Hippo came in and says, I think pronoun freaks and shills are angry that a large-breasted fox woman sees Asmon as the premier man compared to them. Twitter hates this man, but VTuber Babe likes him. Learn how, energy. Thanks, Hippo. Appreciate that. Nathan came in and says, when the Liver King controversy happened, I learned from a lot of people that you can either be big or you can be shredded from pure exercises. If you want to be both, drugs are involved.
Yep.
Matthew says, why are gym people not as honest as you, Cam? Why not just come out and say, yeah, I'm on something? Why lie about it? Also, I hope Intergalactic is the last game Naughty Dog makes. Thank you, Matthew.
Well, as far as gear goes, I don't do gear. That I wouldn't be allowed to do that, obviously, in a sanctioned auto sport. But as far I've definitely done stuff in the past, like a long time ago. I've tried a few things here and there, and I just didn't really care for it. But the reason that a lot of people in the industry don't talk about it is because almost every competition when it comes to bodybuilding, almost all of them are technically supposed to be drug free. It's just they test for it at certain times and have scheduled testing. And even if they don't, if they're supposed to have random ones, people will get let known ahead of, like, in advance to when they are. So no, even natty competitions. So there's competitions called natural. They're not even remotely natural. They're almost as big as the normal bodybuilders. It's really stupid, to be fair. I don't know why it existed. So mainly that, and also a lot of these guys and women, they have a lot of sponsorships. They have a lot of partnerships. They have all these things going on. They can't just come out and admit to things like that, even though everybody knows. It's like the worst kept secret in bodybuilding. You can't really speak on it because if you do, you put all these other things in danger. Now, to be fair, I don't know why Hollywood actors don't. Like every Hollywood actor that's in an action movie that has abs, they are all on gear. Even the skinny ones, they're all on gear. The same trainer comes in from to LA and does the same thing for all these guys. Like people think Chris Hemsworth's not on gear at 245 solid.
Oh my God,
they're so silly. It's like, dude, they're all on gear. Every one of them. They don't just have good diets. Okay, come on. So yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I don't really know why a lot of them don't, but it has to do obviously with ego, and it also has to do with partnerships and competitions and probably NPC rules. So a lot of these guys are IBF like pro competitors.
Mm-hmm.
Probably can't be like, oh, I'm also on drugs. I don't know.
I think a lot of it may be ego. Ego, pride, for sure.
People in the chat are like, Henry Cavill, not Henry Cavill. No, yes. The hell's wrong with you? He's like 300 pounds of freaking muscle with that. God, you see, this is why I don't like talking about this stuff. I'm like, you see, people don't get it. They just think people are like, they're just good at being big and giant. And it's all genetics and it's a lot of food and stuff. And then I look at the chat, I'm like, the people just don't get it. They just, if you have any muscle mass on you, you're on gear. That's just how this works, especially if you're in entertainment. And then I look at the chat and they're like, not my favorite actor, though. And I'm like, it's all the same. You're all the same people. Yeah, I can tell you a thing and you don't even hear it. You don't even hear it. Jesus.
Well, you look at The Rock and you see like what he looks like with his shirt off and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's totally so here's The Rock 20 years ago, right? Here he is right here. And he's big, he's strong, totally roided up, right? And then you look at The Rock today and he's bigger, stronger 20 years later. It's like, okay, yeah, that's totally legit. Fucking idiots.
Yeah. You can there's pictures of him in 2004 when he claimed he was on gear versus now, and he's like double the size.
Right. I eat a lot of fish.
Yeah, dude. I love that. It's like the weird the motivational speakers that are supposed to be chads, and they're like, wake up at 3 a.m., write a book, invest in the stock. Yeah, it's like that kind of thing. He's like, it's like, how'd you get so big, The Rock guy? And he's like, yeah, so I just eat 40,000 calories a day. And I'm like,
right.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure you do. Yeah,
I'm just injecting calories into my bloodstream at all times.
Yeah, it's totally fine. It's totally fine to be producing zero testosterone, yet building meaningful muscle mass. It's so weird. It's crazy. It's almost like it defies the laws of physiological nature and biology.
Crazy. All right, let's move on to this last story of the day. And you guys have been great. Appreciate you guys for what you do. This comes from Level-5. Level-5 is a developer who produces the Professor Layton games, which those have been big hits. They've done very, very well for themselves. But Level-5 has introduced a new policy that warns that harassment of their employees will not be tolerated with this new user policy. Okay, so they released this. This is it's over on their website right now, which I have gone over to Google Translate and translated, which you can see right here. And I'll just read it here. Our company aims to become one of the world's leading entertainment brands, and we are committed to providing our customers with the best products and services. We have received warm encouragement and valuable feedback from many customers, which is a great encouragement for our daily activities. However, there have been some cases of excessive verbal and physical abuse, which the physical abuse is very interesting because you haven't seen anything about that. Excessive criticism and harassment of employees. In order to maintain an environment in which our employees and related parties can carry out their work with peace of mind, we ask you to please refer to the items below and be considerate in how you express your opinions and suggestions. Excessive criticism or unfounded accusations, words and actions that hurt others or our employees, defamation, slander, violent or intimidating words or action, insulting, discriminatory, or sexual remarks, violation of portrait rights, violation of privacy.
What?
I'm guessing that's some sort of AI thing, maybe. I don't know. Maybe taking somebody's picture and modifying it, I guess. Excessive demands, disseminating false information or speculation as if it were fact, aggressive or extreme thumbnails or titles in video reviews that may lead to misunderstandings about our product, not limited to the above items. If we determine that the behavior is malicious, we may contact lawyers, police, and those involved in the perpetrator as necessary and take appropriate measures, including legal measures and criminal proceedings. In addition, if the relevant behavior is confirmed, we may report the SNS account and file a claim for infringement or rights without notice. This notice is not intended to ask you to refrain from criticizing our company, our works, or employees. We ask that you be careful about how you express your opinions. So we would appreciate it. We would appreciate it if you would continue to give your honest opinions if you have any concerns.
But you may be arrested. It's fine.
Yes, bingo. We will continue to have a healthy and sincere dialogue with our customers and strive to improve our products and services. We appreciate your continued understanding and cooperation.
Find me some level 5 employees right now.
What you gonna say, Flash? They're gonna do
that thing. They're gonna do that thing where they're like, oh, we actually have the right to extradite you to our company or to our country and put you in jail. Like the UK tried to pull that shit with America. They're like, yeah, if you like post something mean online and we in the UK see it, we'll actually fly you to UK and like try you. And I'm like, yeah, good luck. That's gonna be AR-15s all day. All day. You're not showing up on American soil to take somebody away for saying you a bitch on Facebook. Ain't happening. Sorry.
Well, this is the same company. Once again, they produced the Professor Layton series. They also produced this Nino Kuni series. I think I said that right. Which has been around for a good while. Blabs, you got a lot to say about this.
Well, I have, many thoughts, but I did want to just show off their entire list because, that's not everything. So I'll just slowly scroll and you guys can just take a gander. But there's so many questions about this. It's like, what do you define as hate? What do you define as harassment? It's the same spiel with all these companies. Like, what's your definition of all these words? Now, when someone's physically harassing you, obviously there's going to be a line of, well, maybe you shouldn't be doing that. Why are you physically assaulting someone, right? I think it's sad because I used to play Professor Layton video games a lot. I had maybe 5 of them as a kid growing up, and they were a lot of fun. As you can see, I'm still going on this list. They do a lot of video games, a lot of Nintendo things. I'm very confused as to what these definitions are to them. And I was trying to find an answer on the website, and what do you know? You can't find anything. They don't actually have a definition.
You're not because
it's just like hate speech. There's no definition. It's a changing thing.
It's intentionally vague so they can apply it to anything they feel they can benefit from. Basically, anything they would like to shut down, no matter what it is, they'll just label it as that. That's why it's so vague, and that's why hate speech laws are so dangerous because you could literally, I mean, language is fluid, right? Me calling somebody like a butter golem could end Canada, could maybe put me in jail, right? So that's the issue. Like if you let these things continue and progress, and they take full advantage of that shit over there.
So there's obviously, this is a dangerous situation. And as pointed out, Jim says it isn't censorship. It's a copy and paste and modification of a recent law in Japan that was put in place a couple months ago to protect workers of all companies. Jim, thank you for the clarification there. With that said, I think that really pushes home the idea of why freedom of speech is so important, right? Because what is excessive? Who defines excessive? Who defines these terms that are being thrown down here? And this is, by the way, this is a company that is linked to Sega. And I don't know if you recall this but back in July, Sega takes legal action against an individual for harassment of its employee and warns that similar response awaits anyone else who tries. So they had a customer harassment policy here as well back in July. Now, I don't know the exact ins and outs of this. I mean, we could take a look at it, but the idea of being critical about a game or being critical about it, like if something like this was to happen, let's just say BioWare was in Japan and we were critical of the trailer for Intergalactic, like we just had that segment, right? They didn't like what we were saying because we're reading off tweets about this. All of a sudden we get pinned as harassment, and all of a sudden we have a lawyer showing up or a police officer showing up because we were reading off tweets and providing our thoughts on this. I think this is obviously incredibly fucked up and really speaks to the power of why our First Amendment in America is so important.
You're seeing that happen right now in the UK.
Yeah,
you're seeing that police showing up and we're going to ask you about these tweets you made, and
right.
It's that's scary. What a waste of police resources too.
Wild.
Like over feelings,
hateful tweet, isn't it? It's like, it's funny. It's there are quite literally criminals there that are not even citizens that are stabbing people on subways or are assaulting them in different ways, and they get out within 3 days of prison and then do it again. And then you have people being in prison for like a year or two over calling somebody a damn, a silly wicket on Facebook. Pretty wild now, man.
It's not the first or the last time that we've seen this. I think we're going to see this many, many times. And this goes back to people have the opportunity to say what they want on a platform like X or, to a lesser extent, Blue Sky. Yeah, or Facebook or whatever. But there is no clear indication as to what this means. And I actually want to circle back to a story a couple weeks ago, actually 13 days ago. We talked about Riot Games in particular. They had they updated a policy where they updated their terms of service, and it was. Do you remember this story, Blabs?
I was actually thinking of that when we were talking about this 2 minutes ago. I was like, oh yeah, Riot Games.
So they talked about the off-platform content, and that if you are a content creator and you are playing the game and you minimize the game and you go outside and, I don't know, you do something that they deem not appropriate.
Yeah, it's basically if you have Twitter open at the same time and the game's minimized and you say something stupid on Twitter, you're just talking to your chat, whatever, like, oh, you're banned.
Then you get banned from the platform. Now, we've been waiting to follow up on this, and I actually did. I reached out to the senior communications director over at Riot Games, and we asked about some of the, we were talking about the definition of what is excessive, right? And I asked him point blank, I said, the biggest questions, I'm going to read you the email exchange verbatim. I said, the biggest questions I have are regarding the standards of your terms of service. It's extremely vague and leaves a lot of wiggle room. If you can answer these questions, I'd appreciate it. What is considered hate speech? Question number one. Question two, what words and terms specifically are considered hate speech or quote unquote
what? Are we still alive?
Yeah, bye, Craig.
Mayor?
Okay. Did I get dropped?
You're back now.
Okay, weird. Okay, where did you lose me?
We never heard anything. We heard, what do you consider hate speech?
Okay. What do you consider hate speech? The second question was, what words and terms specifically are considered hate speech or quote unquote evil? Evil was a word that the game director used. I said, please name them. What is considered quote hateful language? And this is something that we talked about, Blabs. What about different regions and cultures? How will Riot adjust its terms of service based on cultures in America versus the Middle East versus Australia versus et cetera, et cetera? And what quote unquote culture is seen as the governing body? And then I finally says, what about general shit talk? There's a lot of gray area, as one person may feel that calling someone stupid is considered hate speech, and others may feel it's just banter. Now, this is what he said verbatim. He said, hey, Craig, I'd like to point you to that line in the blog above where we say, quote, aren't going to proactively monitor everything that happens across social media, end quote. There isn't a specific list of terms we're going to be monitoring or anything like that. We aren't planning to use this policy often, and any decision to take action based off of off-platform activity would go through a committee of people before we use any ban or suspension, etc. And I said, hey, John, appreciate the response. I understand the line of the blog. A few follow-ups. Who is on the committee? How often does the committee meet? And what about the different regions and cultures? What culture is seen as the governing body? He said, good questions. The team will meet as needed when there's an issue for consideration for action. It includes a group of Riot leaders from across different groups like community management, trust and safety, player support, etc. He said, as far as culture, it would be pretty similar to player support, which takes a very regional approach to things, i.e. something you can say in the US might not be cool in Korea or vice versa. So we'd be looking at where the person was playing and who their audience is. He said, and he finished with, to the point on social media, part of why this all sounds a little vague is because this is intentionally case by case. So they're keeping it vague on purpose. It says, we are very aware of the possibility of this being used for witch hunts, etc. And so need to have nuance to discuss what is happening in the game at time, the line between shit talk and pure toxicity, etc.
So I like how when he says, you ask, who are these people? And like, are they from all over the world? And he's like, oh, they're from a group of employees, but doesn't actually stay around the world or anything. They could all be in California.
Yeah. And his responses were as vague as the terms of service, right? And I tried to push him on it. I actually asked to go get on a call, and I followed up. I said, one last question. What is quote unquote pure toxicity? And I said, as I said, in many of these cases, you're dealing with people's feelings getting hurt. What is pure toxicity to one may not be pure toxicity to others, even on your team. It sounds like a very slippery slope. And guess what?
If you want to share my screen, I actually have a picture of somebody that will be on their team to just see what everybody else is saying. Yeah.
But that's tough to see. And she'll be drinking her soda just like that the entire time, going toxic, toxic, toxic. So there's that. A little follow-up from a story from a couple weeks ago, which hopefully you guys appreciate that. Doing a little bit of journalism here on Side Strollers. So, Cody, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think he's keeping it vague on purpose so we can put the hammer down whenever they need to, or I don't know? What are your thoughts on that?
It's all this language for every company or every country, even when they use vague descriptions like this, they're using it as a way to pick and choose who they want to prosecute or who they want to take down, either socially or politically. The reason they do that and the reason they make it vague is because they can protect their friends that engage in the same type of behavior but attack their enemies in any way, shape, or form that they see fit with vague language. So it's intentionally vague. That's why laws need to have direct outlines with exact parameters around those laws. You cannot have vague, hate, it's hate. Well, that means that if for some odd reason, the person I support says something which you deem hateful, they get arrested. But if someone on the other side says the exact same thing, let's say, oh, actually, that's not what they meant. And also, it's completely different because they have a better viewpoint than you do. They actually kind of try to do that now. They've been trying to do it with cancel culture. For example, like people like Justin Trudeau can, dress in blackface over and over and over and over, and everybody just laughs. All the comedians that are open leftists can dress in blackface all day, every day. Everybody laughs. Oh, they're a different person. It was funny back then. Don't worry about it. But if a conservative dressed in blackface as a 9-year-old, and it's only because half of his face was black, in 1992, he'll get put in prison. That's kind of like how these things work. So yeah, it's intentionally vague so they can prosecute who they want and who they can defend, and so they can defend who they don't want to prosecute.
Gina Carano versus Pedro Pascal is pointed out in the chat as a good example too.
100%.
Oh, yeah,
100%.
What's the old saying? If there wasn't double standards, there'd be no standards at all, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You can politically posture as long as the political posturing you're doing is approved by the state. So
approved by the state, right there. That's the key phrase right there. Is it approved by the state? All right. Well, there's an update for you guys. And once again, the important thing is that I will say this: when it comes to the activist, they've done an excellent job of becoming the state. And if you want change, you have to insert yourself into said state and reclaim what you want. So, think about that when you're voting, getting your next job, when you're looking to climb the corporate ladder, the whole shebang right there. So, okay, you guys have been great with your support today. And Blabs, do us a favor. Will you see if there's any super chats for Flash and Cody, so we can do that? Now, we did have this Flash. I don't know if you saw this. Actually, I know you did, but this is just the wonderfulness of AI that we have. We talk about you getting your super coffee. Look at this wonderful thing. Look at that right there. That's amazing that was able to be made so quickly.
AI is so strange. There's always this weird, like, kind of floopy stuff is being like born of nothing. Kind of like when people will mix those two items and it makes that like weird, like in a bucket, and it shoots out the foam almost. Like, every AI image has that weird like erupting foam thing.
Yes, it does.
Like, it's so like the way stuff moves, it has that weird erupting foam look. Even people, it's very strange.
Well, that's pretty fun, though. Thank you for that. Release the McCracken. There's your meme for the day.
He's on it.
Oops. Oh, there we go. Love that. All right, Blaz, what do we have for?
Nothing specific for them, except there was this one question here. Where did it go? Here we go. M Champion says, Cam is from Bama, Roll Tide. There you
I'm
go.
still there.
But I think we got that one before, but StreamYards hates me, doesn't clear out. So, the end.
Do we have anything
Good
over on
day, Craig.
Rumble Brand? Or, yeah. Do we
I
have anything
got
over
the
on Rumble or
locals ones, except for one from Spoon Ninja. Someone say my name. No one said your name. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Thank you very much. And then a Rumble rant from Wasp 5. I've said it before and I'll say it again. She looks like a dollar store Alien 3 Ellen Ripley.
Yeah.
And Ree says they can't see women add anything other as such objects. Coming from the crowd that identifies as non-binary LGBT AARP and wants different sex identification stuffed into games. That's a fair point. And that is it on the Rumbles.
All right, we'll give Cam and Flash the opportunity to roll. But before they do, I want to remind everybody to head over to sidescrollersmerch.com and go get some new merchandise, including the new Challenger shirt right there, which features some of your favorite hosts up on there, which, hey, it'd be great to do a sequel to that, depending on how well that goes. The Gamers versus Everybody shirt, which is available today for the first time, as well as all of our classic merch from the past year, including all of Blabs' bucket hats and her karaoke bar, the American Pride shirt, my daughter's Let Us Skateboard t-shirt right there as well, which she gets a nice big cut of, as well as the baseball tee and the Side Scrollers High Life t-shirt. So you guys go pick those up over at sidescrollersmerch.com. It's a great way to support the channel. All right, Cam, do us a favor. Fill us in on what you got going on in your life and where people can find you, my friend.
Well, the race season starts in February. I'll be up in Daytona in first or second week of January to do a test. I also just launched my campaign for my new book it's my first book really, called Ride and Die 1 It's been going really, really well. I have it pulled up on here if you want to share my screen.
Please.
It's a really cool thing I'm working on right now. I'm having a lot of fun doing it.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been going really well. Got all kinds of covers and whatnot. Just to give you a rundown, it's basically it's taken a lot of inspiration from my racing, obviously, because that's kind of how it started out. I was writing journal entries, and then it kind of turned into something else over the course of 6 months and being stuck in hotels. But it's about a character named Ryan Willer who has a chance to go for a dream, but almost immediately is starting to fail at that dream. Things out of his control, and he gets an offer from a big titty goth girl, demon lady, to sell a piece of his soul to have some success in his dream, and it ends up not being what he thought it was. So he has to go deep into the confines of hell to destroy her and a lot of demons along the way and get his soul back and the ones he loves. And it's going to be a really, really sweet deal. So if you have not backed that, it helps me out a lot because every single penny of it after fulfillment goes towards racing and traveling for racing, because that that almost killed me last year. It almost killed my ass. So go give it some love. Go give it a good back. Go get you the black and white covers. There's some of these beautiful tumblers, and help your boy out. And that's it. That's Camelot 331 and all the stuff.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations for that. That's all. Just totally destroying the stretch goal there. Of course, you guys can find Cam over at over on Locals here on YouTube as well. Flash, what about you, my man?
Find me at Yellow Flash 2 and Yellow Flash,
of course,
and Yellow Flash Guy on Twitter.
All right, head on over there and subscribe to Flash as always. There you go.
Cam, do you sim race? If yes, what's your gear?
Not really. I have in the past, like I've dabbled in iRacing a little bit. Sometimes I'll play it for like 3 days because it'll be at that week is at a cool track, or I won't for like years. Because sim racing doesn't even remotely translate to real life. Like it's not even in the same reality.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, it's not even it's not even remotely close to real life.
Some of those people that take that shit serious swear that it translates.
Well, they've never raced in real life. Like no, I said that on my stream like 2 weeks ago. I shit you not, a dozen people in my chat said they were unsubbing and they fucking hate me. And they were like, "Oh, how dare!" And I was like, "Dude,
you're crushing dreams."
I'm like, all I said, because now look, sim racing's cool as hell, and a lot of people are really invested in it, and that's awesome, dude. I respect the hell out of that. But like, you are not a race car driver, and you don't know what it's like, and nothing you're feeling is even remotely like it is in real life. It's not even remotely in the same realm. And everybody that races in real life will tell you the exact same thing. Everybody.
Wait, what about Gran Turismo? I saw the Gran Turismo movie.
A good movie too.
It was a good movie. I love that movie. That was great.
Yeah. Here's the issue is there are people obviously that sim race that can jump in a car and after running 1,000 laps, they're within 2/10 of where they need to be because they have it. Right. But it doesn't prepare you even remotely. And also it doesn't translate. You can run all day at Watkins Glen in a cup car for 1,000 laps, and when you get in a real one in real life, it's going to take you the exact same amount of time that it would have taken you before to get up to speed. It just doesn't translate. Nothing translates. The wheel doesn't translate. The pedal doesn't translate. Nothing translates even remotely how it is in real life. Not even close. Hence why a lot of drivers will stop sim racing for the entire race season because they say it messes with their driving style. It confuses them. So at any rate, I do love, I think iRacing's fun as hell. Every now and then I'll jump on it for a couple days and then I'll come back off it. So yeah,
I've never been in a race car, but I do play once in a while those like the racing motorcycle games. What's it called? MotoGP.
Gotta love
Road Rash.
And I can tell you, going fast in that game is nothing like going fast in real life. Like the fastest I've ever gone is 180 miles an hour. And that does not translate the way you feel. It's totally different than a video game.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to capture that.
Yep. It's weird how at Michigan, for example, we go like 196 into the corners at Michigan in NASCAR, and you'll fly into the corner, and it's like 98% balls at that point. And then once you get into the corner, like you're not focusing on your steer. Like it's not steering. Like everything in sim racing is steering. steering, and a little bit of throttle control. In real life, there's like 100 variables, like all mixed into one goulash that you're having to like work through, right? And sim racing doesn't. It's all about steering and right foot in sim racing. So
have you met Jeff Gordon?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just curious.
Yeah, I've met a ton of. When you go to the garage, there's always a bunch, especially at Daytona. There's everybody's there. Everybody's there.
How quick did it take you to unzip his pants?
She. I love the man, but not that much, Craig.
Oh, okay. All right, time to roll. Flash, Cam, you guys say au revoir, and Blabs and I will finish the Super Chats.
I love
Peace
you.
out.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Hey, guys.
Right,
Merry Christmas.
Later. Merry Christmas indeed.
Bye, everybody.
See you guys. All right. Ghost Ravenstorm says, hey, all, with rumors about Astrobot coming to PC, how do you think they'll transfer controller features to PC? Would Steam require a DualSense? How would that work? Oh, I guarantee that was thought of long before they even implemented any sort of special controller support. How would it work? I don't know. But I guarantee once you see it, you're going to go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Master Gawa says, I can fap to a lot of stuff. The real question is, why are the characters ugly? They should be perfect unless it's for an ugly duckling or to Swan story arc. That's not a game I'd play. And I play Infinity Nikki. Thank you, Master Gawa. All right, Blabs,
He's such
fire
an
away.
odd pigeon, that one. Anyway, starting from the top, Nate says, let's see your PC do that, losers. What? Do what? Gear says, buy Fractal case to make PC internals bulletproof. Garrett says, I've never played Professor Layton, but I've watched Professor Layton and the Malignant Growth so many times I feel I know the franchise from top to bottom. So I've played a couple of them. I remember one engine. I can't remember which one it was, but one of them really pissed me off. I was like, that was the engine? What? Trash. I was really mad, but like honestly, I was like 13, so... Mercenary, it's not Tuesday, Mercenary. You have to tell us this tomorrow. Remind us again. Leg hole update, it's getting smaller. Shakeable says, we need to wait 1 year before buying games. Honestly, you're not wrong. Soul Silver says, they're going to bait us with nostalgia and people are hungry for the old BioWare that they will use this as their marketing weapon. How despicable. Mark of Reality says, if it's a content-changing patch, the consumer didn't get what he paid for, therefore they should give full refunds on these patches. Wishful thinking. Mercenary says, they already are doing the DEI patches. Hitman 1 had pro-Trump voice line in it, then complaining came in and it got removed. Ask Razorfist on this. Thank you. Mercenary also says, journalists don't want to play games, they want to see movies and force us to watch those same movies that suck, they hate fun, and it is pure evil to me. David says, Craig, I'm not a pussy, I will fight VAR for 50K.
David, you look like a man, so it's probably not going to happen.
Mickey says, does Blab still hold her opinion to wait and see? On what? What are we discussing here? Master Gala says, funny that people whose whole identity is pronouns and punching Nazis put Adidas and Porsche in Intergalactic. These companies made weapons for World War II Germany. Thank you. Gear says, silly Flash, I'd rather have Neil Cookman vote kicked from the company and restructure. I want to see more characters like the ones from Blue Archive. Saw Mark says, what Asmon does is great. He'll put up a video and that says, woke games, no way. Play dumb as if he's on the fence and then promote small channels. Demon says, they hardly ever make ugly males. It's biased. You think so? I kind of disagree with that statement.
I think that, once again, well, I think there's this right here. Yeah, from Garrett. Go ahead, fire away.
Oh, no, not that one. It was the other statement that I just removed.
I know, but this one ties into that.
Oh.
The idea of
beauty
beauty
is subjective, and if my subjectivity isn't met, you won't get my money. Simple as. No, that's a fair assessment. If you don't like it, why would you buy it? Tanushi says fictional characters, especially the MC, should usually be exceptional, and the character's looks is the easiest way to visually bring this across. Also says, if I wanted to play a smug a-hole, I'd play Rant. Thank you very much. Dave Tiggett says, so where do I get this gear for a friend? Orthodox Monk says, flash on gear in his pick. Norm says, what's that saying about first impression being the most important one? Someone should tell the game industry this if they will listen. They won't listen. Mercenary says Professor Layton versus Phinox, right, Blabs? I'm not really sure what you're talking about, but I think that's Phoenix, but I don't remember that game if I even played it. Soul Silver says this rule will ruin the company in the long term. The worst part is that they will be slow and they will be ignorant to the reasons of their failures. Scarfy says, I wonder what Amir thinks of those camps in China. Oof. Char says Vic Mignogna was the first to be canceled. And Ghost says, so third-party controllers with no microphone wouldn't break Astrobot on PC.
Well, I think you can. Can't you sync your PlayStation controller to your PC? I think you can.
You should be able to do that, yeah.
This idea of like, well, they don't make attractive male video game characters, and I realize that the time has changed. You probably have no idea who Master Higgins is, but like, this is the first guy who came to mind. Was like, is Master Higgins really that attractive? Is Mario really that attractive?
No, he's meant to be cute.
Yeah, right.
Endearing.
And so is the bald head lady in Intergalactic, I suppose.
I don't think she's very endearing. She kind of looks off-putting.
Yeah, well, of course. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hey, Diana came in and picked up the brand new Gamers vs. Everyone shirt here. You can pick that up over at sidescrollersmerch.com. Also, Kratos El Greatos picked up the High Life shirt as well as some other shirts as well. Says, finally, I can replace this shirt I ruined at Las Vegas. I was so distraught. I will not, however, be purchasing any more bucket hats. Oh, thanks.
Oh, that's disappointing. I'm disappointed in you. My day's ruined? Not really.
Orthodox Monks picked up the new Challenger t-shirt over here, just released today. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you can call me Helga.
And thank you for that. Also, Mecha Boozilla picked up the new Challenger t-shirt. Thank you for picking that up over at sidescrollersmerch.com. Delta also said, since Flash and JT said they were excited for Metroid Prime 4, I'm patiently waiting for the Which Way Men with Samus Aran and the Intergalactic lady. Wonder what the sales numbers will be for both. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see Prime versus Intergalactic. God damn it, I want a name, came in with a 10. Says, someone remade the character, the bald Asian chick, gave her silky smooth hair, more feminine jawline, reduced the mega chin, and gave her a slimmer nose, pouty lips, put tasteful makeup on her, and voila, attractive woman you'll find outside of California. Thank you for that. It's amazing what happens. John came in and says, for the Intergalactic problem, I just can't trust Naughty Dog to make a game without forcing their ideology in it. With The Last of Us The Last of Us Left Behind, their TV show in part 2, too many times it happened. That's right. It's all about noticing trends. Delta came in, says the annoying thing about their incels crowd will have most likely reposted and liked the voice actor of Clive from Final Fantasy 16 saying he's in Tekken 8 with a shirtless option. And read my $1 tip from way back. I thank you, Delta. And Fighting the Prudes came in with the 1. Says, did y'all see a dating site for Japanese geeks was hit by Visa the Visa ban? At this point, I was wondering if Western entertainment companies are bribing Visa to attack Japanese entertainment, or is Visa just racist towards Japanese culture? I did not see that. I have seen there's been a lot of conversation about Visa over the past couple of weeks. It's been an ongoing thing. We haven't yet to cover it, but I know Savvy has been digging into it. All right. Anything else from Rumble or Locals?
Nope. We are all cutsies upsies.
All right. Well, we genuinely appreciate y'all's support, guys. Thank you for popping in and being a part of our life, allowing us to be a part of yours. A quick reminder, we are off next week for Christmas. So if you guys tune in only on Mondays, then know that we will not be here next Monday, but we'll be back the following week. Only a 1-week break this year because we can't wait to get back and hang out with you guys. So we'll be taking Christmas week off. But we're back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time, when our boy Razorfish joins the show. So make sure you guys pop in and tune in. With that said, have a great rest of your day. And remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. See you guys later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Fatality.